Welcome everyone, we're back for another edition of the GG Million today. Ben CB, Benjamin Rolle in the building, the man, the creator, the founder, CEO, this, that, Raise Your Edge Gaming, Ascend, does it all. Ben, how are you?
I'm good. Third time.
Third time.
Right?
That is a big deal. That is not, I think maybe one other person has done that, maybe two. We appreciate it. Always a pleasure to have you. Always a risk that you might be at this final table as a guest because you play it and you do very well. As people will know, over 35 million, 36 million in online poker tournament earnings. Kind of ridiculous stat, but there it is. And yeah, so thank you. Pleasure to have you. We are going to be looking at some familiar faces today. I know you battle with a lot of these guys, and you did play this on Sunday. Is that correct? So you recognize a lot of these names?
I skipped on Sunday.
You did skip. Okay, makes more sense why you're here. Like we usually know there's a good risk you could not be here when we book you. So we'll be taking a look at that. We're gonna look at who is doing what. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at the prize pool. Over $1 million, almost guaranteed every time. A little lower. WSOP going on right now. Everyone at home knows that is a big focus. A lot of these players do go play at the World Series. Still 232, almost $250,000 to first, 932,000. We'll look at the chip stacks and who has got what. And Samuel Vousden, one of the highlight players here, who is one of the big names in poker, been throughout the course of, since I can remember, online poker. He has got himself a nice stack, second place. You can see, I believe, 6 final tables, multiple titles, and LeBrunns, someone who's relatively unknown, rocking the chip lead, 71 blinds and 18 blinds, is our champion from last week. Warska, Austrian flag, talented player, really put on a good performance last week, but has his work cut out from him. Have you played with him online? Have you battled with him before?
No, not much. I mean, might have played a hand or two, but you also have a lot of newcomers these days. And, you know, as you might know, I'm not playing full-time anymore. So, yeah, we'll see. Curious to see. Always good to see some new faces on these final tables.
I'll tell you what, it's good to see new faces. Not a lot of new flags. Austria just dominant again with the flags. You see 4 of the 9 players rocking that Austrian flag. Nguyen, someone also not familiar with as much in the GG Million. Mark Radoja, regular. He got his title finally. So many final tables. Did take one down recently. And we have a few multiple winner champion time GG Million champion. Ramiro Petrone, also very talented, has done that. And Samuel has won multiple. I believe 4 people here have won a title on this stream, and a few unknowns today as well, as we see ace 10 suited go to work here with a raise. Anything stand out for you, Ben, based on interesting seats with chips, how these 9 are stacked up today? Chip leader, I mean, again, not as many chips in play, less entrants today. Might be a little quicker final table, but we do see the chip leader does have direct position on Samuel, who is very accomplished, but 2 of the bigger stacks right next to each other.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, the difference is not that big. And question though is, sometimes I'm wondering, might it not be better to sit across away from him and maybe position yourself next to Chris to his left? Because the thing is, he has a much bigger advantage over Chris because he has twice the stack, right? If he's getting involved in a big pot with Sam and loses, he's going to be the short stack, right? So I understand, like, it's not a bad choice, but you might actually gain more. And Sam is also a very good player. You know, he can play back. So when you want to make a decision for seating on final tables, you might want to consider sitting to the left of the guy that is third in stack, just because he has to be so much tighter, and you get a lot more first in spots.
Look at this from Radoja. Leads out on an 8-7-4 rainbow. Knows it's such a better flop for his hand. Chris Nguyen folds there. What are your? I mean, that's not something we usually see when lead out. But I guess if he doesn't have an overpair and he has a hand just like that, ace 10, ace jack, ace queen, king queen suited, ace king, you're just kind of in a really bad spot because you could be drawing effectively dead or in bad shape. So nice takedown from Mark. Are you surprised with his lead there, or do you think that's pretty standard?
I'm supposed to the preflop defend. I think against a tight range, I had a very similar spot. This could be a preflop fold, but it's certainly very close. So, but I like his play. I think this could happen a little bit. But the question is, you're not going to have so many offsuited 2 pairs, right? You're not defending 8-7. Like, your value is very. Are we going to have the first all in here?
I mean, Chris is not snap called. You saw him fold to the small bet with the backdoor nut flush draw, the ace 10 2 overcards, which was actually leading here, which he does call, ultimately going to have to call, does put out a lot of his chips. He's in the action. We're seeing 5, ace, king, queens, does not hit. Wardska, your champion from last week, ahead, going to the river, about 14%, 6 outs, 1 to come. Can he fade, stay in the game? He's going to do it. That is not a king. That is not an ace. That is a double up for your last week champion. Catching heat, was a short stack. Now he's going to have almost 40 big blinds and sitting in really good position. And Chris Nguyen, not the dream start, relatively new to the GGMillion, gets an open and then another open and has to put it in against the queens, loses the flip. And now he is relatively short. I think he is now your actual short stack. You saw he took a while to consider calling there. I mean, he didn't love it, but ace king just too much hand. What would be, talking about risk premium, Ben, something in Raise Your Edge. Again, you're the founder, creator of that. Something I always found very interesting about the risk premium. Can you talk a little bit about risking chips early on when ICM is so prevalent? It's such a big part of the tournament right now with 9 remain, right? I think usually between 8 and 12 it's like the most dominant ICM time, if that makes sense. And just what if he sees his queens there, is he definitely, what do you call in this situation?
Yeah. Of course, because sometimes you would 3-bet aces and kings. I think jacks is probably the first hand. I think tens you actually want to raise forward there. But I just don't see people shoving pocket nines there. So I think we're going to be jacks is like very borderline, and then it's probably ace, king, queens plus / jacks. Then depends a little bit on the player.
Well, that's my question. If Chris saw his hand was queens and he got shoved on, would he fold? I'm saying if you could actually see his hand.
Sorry?
If he knew he had queens exactly after he raises and gets shoved on, and the guy's like, hey, I got queens. He shows him fold. That's my question.
I mean, what's the dead money in the middle? I don't know. It's probably going to be around break even, because the risk premium, so the additional equity he needs is going to be like 8%, 9%. 7, 10. It really depends on the payout structure. So if he gets, he has 55% with ace king, then depends on offsuited or suited. Suited, I'm definitely calling. Offsuited, might be really close. You might have an equity 1 or 2% of an advantage in terms of equity. Like just guessing, right? Just guessing here, doing just the numbers at first sight. A lot of what we do is just muscle memory, right? We see the spots, so we know the kind of range. So we're actually not that certain when it comes to breaking down the numbers, just because we have run a lot of these spots with solvers and practiced. But that would be my rough estimation.
Very interesting. Okay. I want to do a little different kind of wager today. I know we've got several dinner wagers. We like action. We've gambled in soccer at your pad. We do a little bit of wagering today. We can do something a little different. And because there's so many Austrians, and actually Austria won their group at the Euros. Is that correct? I believe I just saw.
Yeah, insane. I mean, it was a pretty sick group with Netherlands, France, and then even I mean, that group was insane. Like, what happened?
Yeah, that's a big deal. I mean, pretty wild.
Yeah.
I think they beat Netherlands and they'd win the group. It's pretty special stuff. So look, in honor of that, how about this? I want to make a little different wager than normal. Why don't you get all the Austria players? So you have those 4. I don't know the tip, and a little shorter total in chips. Maybe I'll sweeten in 1 extra player. We can do a wager that way. So you have Team Austria plus someone. We can try to find out to make it fair. You can tell me.
Okay, I take Team Austria and Sam. You get the other big stacks, LeBrunns and Ramiro, and then I'm down.
Okay, I'm trying to see if that makes sense. That feels dangerous, but all right, it feels fair. That's all right. That sounds about right. That's probably good. Sam's so tough, but let's do it. You got Austria plus Sam. I got the rest of the field. Audience, if Ben wins, you get $50 giveaway ticket, GG ticket. If one of the other players that are on my team wins, it's $100. You got to hit the thumbs up to enter. Keyword at the end of the stream, and the tweet is out. Jeff Gross Poker pin tweet, $50. Always giving away something, and that's a deal. We got to bet. We're betting for a nice dinner. Full dinner. I feel like we're all caught up. You were just visiting. You were in Florida. We got to hang out. I don't, I usually am so much more excited to see you. You're so busy, and we barely, both of us kind of got stuff going on, and I feel like we really are fully caught up. But yeah, pleasure to have you again. If you guys don't know Ben, give him a follow. Where's the best place to follow along, Ben, with you? Which socials?
Instagram. If you wanna the more raw, uncut. I'm doing a lot of Q&As there. poker tips, announcements, updates. Today I posted a story about our ICM exclusive webinar, which is going to be free. Check it out if you want to learn how to crush final tables. And yeah, Twitter, obviously, all right, here and there I'm active and making some posts, which people usually enjoy. Twitch, sometimes I'm playing poker there, and but not that often anymore. And obviously our YouTube videos as well. Raise your edge.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, well, we're gonna pick up.
Where are you the most active right now? Which platform do you think you're the? Well, let me guess. WhatsApp for sure, right? You probably spend most of your time on WhatsApp.
A lot of screen time on the chats. Yeah. Pretty busy. I'm actually reinvigorating Discord. I'm getting more active and sorted with that. I got a newsletter twice a week now as well, so that I just kind of built back up.
Newsletter and Discord. Is it like a private
Discord
community?
Yeah, I do. I have like a similar to your Raise Your Edge. I have a with clips and giveaways and links and all kinds of stuff. So I do that too. Nice. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get back. I just told you saw the podcast studio building, finishing, going to be doing that more. That's my main focus. Come back after summer. So looking forward to that, and obviously doing this weekly. But yeah, I enjoy. I actually think there's so many interesting hands from the GG Million. There's like I really want to take more hands and break those down after the fact, because there's so many times I see so many interesting spots here, and just obviously it's for big money, it's exciting, a lot of big names playing, so that's something I'm looking to do more content with as well, sort of highlights and recapping. As you, again, third time on the show, appreciate that, and we are going to call to a winner today. So it's fun, man. It's fun. I love poker. I've actually gotten more back into No Limit because I play so much PLO and I love PLO Cash, but I actually recently have played 2 stream games No Limit, and I also have been playing a bit more No Limit again. So I'm actually having more fun with it, and I do feel that I get pretty big boost in learning from doing GG Million. I just kind of watching, even though it's not the same as a cash game, it's just you kind of see what people are doing, what type of hands, small blind, big blind, different plays, and it's been enjoyable to watch on here. So yeah, we're gonna see today. I think Samuel's the clear most experienced player here today. I don't think it's very close. Mark Radoja and Ramiro Petrone also very experienced, but other than that, there's a lot of unknowns today, which is a little unusual.
But it's nice. It gives it a bit of a randomness, right?
Yeah.
10-6 off with the race there. Sam likes to battle for these spots. If he feels like someone, it's easy to overbluff this spot, right? Like, do you really want to raise an ace 10 off? Do you really want to raise an ace 6 suited, right? So he's gonna have a lot of those 10-6 off and jack 3 off, right? Exactly those kind of hands. So, and then Sam understands this very well, so I could definitely see him from time to time also attacking this with hands that you would never find in a solver, but this is what poker is about.
Yeah, chip lead here, 3-9 suited. Doesn't go for the open. Are you surprised? I mean, a lot of players, when they have the chip lead, especially when folded 2 in position, they go for a pretty wide variety. I mean, there is Radoja, shorter stack there, the big blind doesn't open. I mean, is that how mandatory and wide would you go there as a chip leader? Would you be opening the 3-9 suited there?
This is very player dependent. Sometimes I think there are a lot of spots where you can open raise 100% of hands. And then there's spots where you need to be careful because a lot of players are very aggressive in these spots because they know the chip leader is very loose, right? So this is one of the spots where final tables sometimes are a bit of street poker.
Got a question in the chat for Dapper Dave asking about the variance. What kind of speaking about results oriented and variance? What is you used to play so many tournaments online. In your experience, how long can bad variance last? What was his worst? Kind of a personal question there, talking about variance. And we got a ace 2 suited going into aces. Not going to work out well. Wonder if Audrey comes with a flat here. Seems like a decent time to do it. Short stack. You're in position, and you are going to have your opponent in really bad shape a lot of the time here.
Yeah, I would like to see like a small 4-bet, 350. Because the best hands that Small is gonna have is gonna be like suited aces, and even against that 4-bet, you usually run into an ace 10 off or an ace jack off that 4-bets you, so you can't even really call it. So the worst thing you can do is just to jam now, and you can also click it back with ace 10 off. You're not gonna be committed. You invest like another 250K. You have 330-ish behind. So in ICM, yeah, good. And also now, since he's gonna have bluffs, when your opponent has bluffs, you should also have bluffs. So here, from time to time, you need to 5-bet jam your suited ace.
Yeah, so that's but you would not flat there. You like 4-betting.
Yeah. Also, again, sometimes I would call, if you play against Arthur, just calling, let him hit something. But I think the worst you can do is just to go all in. I think overall, just the small 4-bet is really, really good with aces, so obviously. But you will see, I think that aces very often 4-bets instead of jam, because slow play and calling is not so good, because if you have 2 aces, it's just very likely that your opponent has kings or queens and is not on an ace-5 bluff, just because you have 2 aces. Downswing, my worst one was 1.5 years in 2012 playing sit and goes. I was running several hundred buy-ins under EV, which was pretty bad, pretty rough. I think 400 or 500 buy-ins that I was below EV. And that was pretty rough. And now I'm also running bad for 2 or 3 months, but my volume is not that high anymore. And considering my buy-ins, I think I'm down this year to 250,000, or since February. I think I won quite a bit at the beginning. And now since February, mid-March, I've had some really rough sessions and lost like anything between 200 and 300K. Don't know the exact number. But, with downswings, it's like, this for me is a downswing because my volume is not so high. And for some other players that just play 100 tournaments a year, losing 20, 30 tournaments in a row is just a downswing, which I play in one session. And people shouldn't be afraid to say or claim they're in a downswing. I've seen this a lot where, this is not downswing. You need 5,000 tournaments to run bad in order to have a downswing. No, everyone defines to themselves what a downswing is, right? A downswing is even running one hand under EV. It swings down. So it doesn't really have a definition of how many tournaments it requires in order to justify to be downswing. Sometimes I feel like it needs to be these, like super rough and terrible downswings in order to be legitimate to be on a downswing.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. As we see 9-5 suited check back, ace-8 off, kind of one of these hands. These I find tricky when you have like an low ace suited wheel, or like this middling ace-8, ace-7, ace-9 off, blind on blind, because you will get raised several times, right? You're going to just get by the worst hands, and you're going to just call, and you're kind of in no man's land. How do you approach the ace-8, ace-7 offers and an ace suited wheel, like in these stacks, really even stacks here too?
Now from you mean in small blind versus big blind, or
small blind when you're the small blind?
I think you really want to do lots of limping. There's just 2 stacks here. They want to play lots of small pots, check it down a lot. Like, they kind of have an incentive to collude, right? Unintentionally collude. That's the whole purpose of tournament poker, right? You're with the other stacks, you're 3-betting less, you're playing less big pots. I mean, it's not the cheating version of colluding, but just to illustrate, hey, it's kind of like a gentleman's agreement, or some sort of silent,
it's optimal, right? It's the GTO of like, that's optimal, what you're supposed to do, is not play in here.
Yeah.
And honestly,
wow, that's a loose call. Was it a check call with the ace-8?
Yeah, on the turn.
He check call. Did he? So Ramiro bet the turn and he just calls it a naked gut shot?
No. It was check call. Wardska
bet. Okay.
Ramiro called.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, and a nice call from Ramiro, and then really just one of the worst cards, right? Because you're either the gut shot bets, which makes sense, which he had and got there, or makes a pair. If he just made the pair, though, he probably check back with just hitting a pair on that board. But either way, Ramiro does. Yeah, they don't play a big pot. He played it well, called when he was ahead, folded when he was behind, And here we go. There's another tough spot. This one I always find tricky. Closing the action, sort of a hand where you're in no man's land. You're against a chip leader. You realize he's going to be wide, but it's just a difficult spot. And I don't blame Audrey from folding there, but give me your thoughts there and how you approach that. With ace, weak bat, not a great ace early position. He is the chip leader though, so going to be wider.
With you mean
Ace
now
seven off in the big blind there.
Yeah, it's nice to 3-bet. I think you just want to be folding or 3-bet. I think calling is pretty bad there. It's just a hand that with the other stacks in your stack, the thing is the call itself in the vacuum, if you isolate, if you look at the call isolated, it's all right, but then you have to check call. You just fold so much equity post flop where in a normal environment you would call and float, right? But you just can't because every bet is going to be so expensive. So that's why we just start folding this preflop and want to preserve our stack more than aiming for winning chips. You want to win chips, but in these spots, just unless you have some reads, unless he's a weaker opponent, unless you think he's not going to be so aggressive, then it's fine.
Here we go. King 10 suited, King Jack off has the backdoor. Pretty big sizing from Wardska, though. He does size up. Still gets the call, picks up the turn, second nut flush draw, board pairs, out of position. Also, Samuel probably pretty familiar with Wardska's game. He did win this tournament last week, and he is going to call, realizing he's going to have the best hand frequently. Does call, and now he's got additional equity. The paired, maybe a lead here, right? With the turn pair card, then he does go for a lead.
I think the King Jack, you block all the floats. You block like a King 9 off with the King and hearts. Like you block the Jack 9, Jack 10. So I think turn is a fold. I'm surprised that Sam check calls against this big bet. But yeah.
Yeah, nice hand there. Nice hand from Sam. He was behind. Actually, all three players in that big blind, small blind button confrontation all had Broadway cards. Audrey got out of the way. Samuel was dominated, did find a way to win the pot. And here we go with Ramiro, ace-9 suited, facing a min raise from a player who we've seen pretty active. 3-bet the ace-2 suited out of the small blind. He seems to be playing pots. He's also gotten dealt in. He's had pretty decent hands. And Ramiro going to go ahead and attack. And this is an interesting one. Queen Jack suited, one of those pretty looking hands. It is against you're out of position.
Yeah.
Kind of tough.
This is actually pretty bad 3-bet. Because you just can't 3-bet every single suited ace here. And if you think about EV's opening range, he's going to be having lots of King 9 suited, Queen 9 suited, maybe an ace 9 off, right? So having a 9 is really bad. You want to have an ace 2 suited for sure is better than ace 9 suited. An ace 4 suited is better than ace 9 suited. It doesn't matter if you have ace 9 or ace deuce, you block ace king, ace queen, aces. Also, pocket 9s is not really relevant because he's usually folding this as well against the suited, or at least supposed to. But again, even if so, you just block so many folds, like a 10-9 suited that can't call, a Jack 9 suited, King 9. He still has one of the bigger stacks, so you can open those hands. So you start with the ones. You really don't want to have an 8. You don't want to have a 9. Even you will see even some ace 10s folding. King Queen is a real powerhouse to 3-bet here, blocking ace king, blocking kings, blocking queens, unblocking a lot of the ace 8, ace 7 suited raise folds. So very often you see king queen off 3-betting a lot more than an ace 8 suited or ace 9 suited. Just in these spots, blocker effects are quite important because ranges are so tight, and then it's just a statistical likelihood. And he's here in this instance, he was right but in the long run, he's probably, if his opponent plays somewhat solid, he's going to be losing money with this 3-bet. Jeff, what tournaments are you going to be playing in Vegas? Do you already have a schedule?
Yeah, I'm playing the main event, of course. That's the most exciting one. Looking forward to the 10K PLO coming up here tomorrow, and then
how good is your PLO game?
Bounty is the 3, and then maybe a couple stream cash games out there. There's some stuff going on, but yeah, I'm in poker mode. I just did family time for a few weeks. Was just relaxed. I'm going out solo. Going to be focused, just playing poker, working on a few projects, and yeah, excited to get out there. I'm it's not like the old days. I used to, like 10 years, would go there for 6 weeks, play everything every day. Now it's a very few select events and very excited about those and feel rested, ready, and yeah, feeling confident. I'm actually, again, I found kind of I've re-fallen in love with Hold'em. I just feel like there's been, I don't know, there's something about it just feels more exciting lately, and I like the game a lot more than I even used to, which is it's weird because I've been in such a PLO cash sort of focus. But yeah, I don't know. It's been fun. I've enjoyed a lot more. I feel like the GGMillion stream has been amazing. I really have liked watching the online stuff. There's been some great cash games that have been streamed, and it's just kind of been more exciting lately. I think kind of like the stand-up game in No Limit has been fun too. I like that they're doing mystery, the bounty stuff. I know a lot of the best professionals probably don't love the mystery bounty and bounties. It adds sort of a weird element. I know you guys have a bounty course, of course, and that's it's been popular, right? The bounties, mystery, but it's been a big sort of percentage of tournaments they've been doing series and focusing on that a lot lately. So that's that's just part of what the poker environment is now, the mystery bounty.
Yeah, we also added a lot of mystery stuff for bounty tournaments into the course as well as updates, and an interesting hand here. I think just gotta jam this, to be honest. Against someone like Sam, he's gonna be aggressive enough, and I think this is just cooler.
Cooler, but a flip. Tens are ahead. Tens to ace king suited. There's the king. No waiting. Samuel ahead. Turn another king irrelevant. 10 or out. This is what Audrey needs, or it will be a knockout. And we are going to see a ace on the river. Just makes the absolute. Just hits it every pay. I respect that though on a flip. If you miss the flop, you see the turn, you see the river. He never really had a doubt where that flip was going. And Audrey, unlucky, gonna be our 9th place finisher, picks up some buy-ins. And Samuel is powerful into the chip lead, wins the flip. And I say this all the time, Ben. You go home, you talk about getting knocked out. Big spy here, 10K, but you're shorter, right? Like the guys that are building stacks, that are winning flips or getting these flips or these situations, there's so many spots picking up light 3 bets, 4 betting, blind on blind, opening hands that players aren't going to open. There's a reason the best players seem to accumulate chips. It feels like they're flipping well or running well, but they're really just accumulating more chips more often, and then they're withstanding these kind of normal situations that happen. Ace king to ace queen, jacks to tens, these type of hands, and then now they're still fine when they lose a flip or get cooler. And that is sort of what I think one of the misconceptions of beginners, players that don't really appreciate that side of it. It's like easy to go home and say, I lost ace queen, ace king for 12 blinds. I can't believe it. Right? Like, it's just like I ran so bad, but really there's all those other spots that you're missing or not taking, or other players are willing to risk and find ways to win chips, to sustain coolers, to lose flips. And that, I think, is something that is underappreciated or not really understood amongst the game.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if you're learning, that you don't really think about that.
The question very often should be more, how do I get to those 10, 15 big blinds in the first place, instead of how did I bust with the 10, 15 big blinds? Because very often, I had this a lot in the past with my students, where they would share hand history and just look at bust out hands. But hey, let's look into, and a pro would very likely end up with 20 big blinds, 25, 30 big blinds. It wouldn't even get to the all-in confrontation in the first place. And I think that's also something that a lot of beginners need to learn. But it's understandable, right? Because the bust-out hand is attached with way more emotions than most of the hands you play in between that appear boring or standard, but you might have won more chips with a good hand or less chips. And interesting hand here with the jacks. That's why the flat is pretty good, right? Now your hand, you can put in a lot more money and also big bet, and a pretty disgusting spot here with Vlad.
A welcoming card, bricks, everything bricks.
Oh,
so much bricks there on no club, no heart. He's gonna check, and man, LeBrun's gonna be thrilled to check that back, considering the run out, and he is still beating a variety of hands. But that was talk about the reason to check first bet there, and how the hand played out. I'm just wondering if he's gonna have too many checkbacks. I guess if your opponent hits that ace king, ace queen, ace jack, or some hand like that, right, they're gonna go for a big bet.
Yeah. I think I wouldn't mind leading there small, because he's gonna have lots of tens and jacks that are gonna be checking back, and you can maybe, if you have a busted flush draw with king queen, king 10. So
Yeah, interesting. That's one thing too. I just talk about bet sizing. Really being able to range your opponents is so important to then also know how to construct your what you're accomplishing on the river. Are you betting? I actually saw a hand in the 250K. It was an awesome hand. Ben Tollerine, who's one of the game's best players. He found it was a hand. I can't remember the specific exact, but he made a size on the river that was like it was so he induced his opponent with such a strong hand, and the sizing was just brilliant. He ended up getting all the money in a spot.
What hand was it? What kind of? Do you remember the holding?
See, I think there's two really interesting ones. One was a nasty cooler. It might have been the one versus Taylor von Kriegenberg, although I want to say, yeah, there was maybe that one where he was betting his gut shot. It was Taylor flop top set where he had kings and Ben had jack 10 off. It came like king whatever, and it ran out king 9 queen. So like he literally, it was like king 7-3 rainbow, and he bet the flop, bet small turn, and then on the river he made the nuts, and he bet like a small sizing instead of checking to like have his player bet. Instead of betting like 70-80%, he bet like I think 20 or 20 like small, and then he got his opponent to raise and put it in. Of course, that was a cooler, right? His opponent happened to have exactly like top set of kings, but just the way I think he put him on like king queen or king jack, some kind of hand like that, and just the fact that it was just the sizing was really interesting to me. That he ended up getting the whole stack. But again, he knows, being able to understand what your opponent's likely holding is, and then how to size reaction wise to that to get what you want. Very, very.
Yeah. I mean, he's an excellent player. He has been around forever, right?
Yeah.
I can see now with force that Sam is going to be putting in another bet, and Ramiro might very likely call again. Interesting. He just checks it. Yeah, it's probably very likely going to go check. And Sam is going to be happy winning this hand, even though it's not really good hand to bluff, because you want your opponents to have 3s, 4s, 5s, right? So if you have an ace-3, you can bluff, but if you have 2 4s, it's just there's a chance you can have ace-2s, king-2s. So the moment you have showdown value, just check it down.
Ace-9, 6-7, 6-7 suited. Not much here. Such a small bet. There's some version of turning to 4-8 clubs, but just not that interested on the ace high there. Needs too much to go right, and Samuel's not going to be slowing down generally, and he does get out of the way. Wartska off to a good start as the shortest stack, won this event last week, and now has got chips. Chris Nguyen not having a dream start, got probed by Mark with the ace 10 of hearts. He opened and then had to fold on the flop, and then losing the flip to Wartska. So he is down to 400,000, about just 11 big blinds in play. Ramiro with the suited ace. Everyone here with decent playability. Ace 9 off. Definitely a hand could attack with. Samuel also certainly would be playing. And he does just fold the ace 9 there. I think flatting wouldn't make sense. He could 3-better fold. He does fold, and both players make a top pair here.
This could get very interesting. Sam might lead. Similar spot we had earlier. Yeah. I don't think Ramiro wants to raise. I mean, just a protection raise, but in ICM, you just have to be a bit more careful. In Chippy V, you might raise. A 7 would be. I would love to see a 7. I would love to see a 7. For the fireworks.
You got Sam. I got Ramiro. You want?
Yeah, I know, but I really would like to see how it plays out. If they put the money in, or if Sam is just gonna check call, or if he's gonna check raise.
Ramiro's never folding, but he does realize there's 500 in the middle now. 4, 5, 7 loses to some straights, 2 pairs. Also loses to a jack, and yeah, this is gonna probably be territory for Sam where he's sort of in the middle, right? He's like,
I mean, I could see like 50K lead just against the 6-7 pocket 6s, pocket 3s, perhaps. Yeah, he just bets 10% pot, which I don't think is that bad. I mean, you kind of open the action, but I think people wouldn't be raising super aggressively here. I think it's fine. I think he really lost the minimum, because if you think about it, he bets like 25% on the flop, 25% on the turn. It's like as if you would call one big bet on the flop and then you check it down. So technically, he lost one big bet in this hand. So very well played. All right. You might think, wow, what an overplay. He bets every single street, but he lost the minimum here. And that's also good when the board favors your range to also, he can do it with straights and some two pairs. You want to dictate the pace. You want to dictate the size of the pot just because you have so many nutted hands. And also with your middling hands, you want to dictate, hey, I want to keep the pot small, but you can't really play aggressive against me because I have two pairs, I have straights, which you don't have. So he just can't really do a lot of raising. If of course Sam has a somewhat solid approach to the board. And yeah, it was not like the biggest firework, but I think it was a very beautiful hand that showcases the power of nut advantage here and obviously the chip stack advantage. And then, hey, I want to do the betting, and then.
Yeah, well said. No, again, Sam just finding ways to be creative and sort of manipulate, dictate pot sizes and where he's at. And again, just here we go. King 9 suited, gonna have a good timing. Ramiro with one of those hands, ace 9 off to open, but can't really do much here.
Yeah.
Guess could 4-bet if he really just feels Sam's completely
Oh,
out of
he
line
can
all the
definitely
time,
do
but
that, yeah. But Sam can also 5-bet jam. It's then this level war, and we have seen those crazy hands. And now you might wonder, well, Ben, didn't you say earlier ace 9 suited was a bad 3-bet, and now king 9 suited? The positions are different, so now he's on the button. Obviously, Ramiro is going to be opening a lot of hands. So now Sam can 3-bet off-suited aces. He just because Ramiro's going to have jack 10 off, he's going to have pocket fours, he's going to have ace 8 off, right? So he's going to have a lot more auto folds, and then just having a suited king or having an ace is already enough for Sam to 3-bet. And that's also theoretically somewhat sound. But if you're in tighter positions, middle positions, again, that's what I said about blockers. When ranges become tight, as we had earlier, you really want to make sure that you don't have a card in your hand that interacts with your opponent's auto folds, right? If he has 10-9 off, or say in this spot earlier, he has ace-9 off, or queen jack off, or these kind of hands. So if you have an ace-8 off, ace-9 off, ace-10 off, having a 10, having a 9, having an 8 is pretty bad. Right, so you choose ace deuce, you choose, and I've seen some of these, like even in those really tight spots where it even prefers a king 5 suited over an ace jack off. Like sometimes it gets kind of funky in some of these weird situations, even there from middle position. But I think here just ace 4, ace 5 suited is probably going to be somewhat the approach for 3-bets, the spot we had earlier, and king 9 suited. 10s flatting, similar to jacks. I think we had this earlier, right? Jacks against a7 suited.
Yep.
Oh, let's see.
Ace 8 suited, nut flush draw over 10s, decent flop. The one over here also against a hand like king queen, you're blocking the 10. There is the nut flush board, a little bit scary for 10s now. Probably won't gonna be losing many chips, but nice welcome sight for Vlad. Has the lock on the hand, cannot lose no matter the river. I'm gonna come out betting it big.
Yeah.
Yeah, big bet. Big bet. LeBrunns, your chip leader, is or was the chip leader to start the day, I should say. I believe had the massive 70 blind stack to start, is still up there. Samuel healthy. Where is LeBrun? He's from Slovenia.
He's still in a good position the moment Sam folds. He can play a lot of hands.
Ace queen threes here. Chris, nice hand to be short stacked with. Gets it. And I mean the price here, how many we're talking about? 10, 9 blinds. So
yeah, the moment you're gonna give your opponent those ace king, ace queen, ace jack, ace 10 suited, he's probably not shoving 4s and 5s. I think Sam might end up call. I mean, he can give this spot up just because it's for him it's good to keep a short stack around. So I wouldn't be surprised if, like, he knows I can call, but I would also see reasons to just keep the short stack alive, you know. But
yeah, Radoja's also little action, little runner opportunity. No way. Is Chris really? Not going to be the 10. That I think it was just too good a price though. And Radoja's also. I get what you're saying, but Radoja's also fairly short, so I don't think there's that much extra benefit. Like it's too good a price. The stack still.
I mean, for the mid stacks, if you have 2 short stacks, you know, it makes the game always a lot more tighter for them versus 1 short stack. But again, I'm on your side as well. I think it could be just a call, but I would find if someone says I would fold because of that reasons, I want to keep 2 shorties alive to keep exploiting the bubble. It's hard to measure. You cannot put it in a solver and measure that. Right. It's just more logic and reasoning, and then you can debate about it. That's for sure. I think it's just good open over the ace-4.
Ace-4, yeah. Ace-4 suited now. Radoja, I mean, off of this stack, he does fold. It would have been a welcome sight for those 10s, and Vlad gonna fold. And this actually looks like one of those spots. I think Wardska against Sam was super aggressive. This is in the bottom 3% hand, 3-9 off, just gonna be likely giving it up. Yeah, doesn't need to be a hero. Want to have a pretty balanced limping range, but definitely the worst seat for Wardska, right? The two chip leaders to his direct left. He, you know, Samuel, not afraid, going to put a lot of pressure on his particular stack, and just in general, not a great layout for him. But again, started the day shortest, and now 1.3 is right in the mix, sort of right in the middle, upper middle. I mean, it's tight. Radoja, the only short stack. Everyone else really even, as a matter of fact. You got Samuel at 3, 1.8, and then you have a 1.6, 1.5, 1.3, 1.2. So very, very tight stacks today. Radoja, your only outlier, as well as Samuel with the chip lead. So that is how it lays out here. And again, less entrance, function of the WSOP, primarily summertime too, just probably less people playing today, a little lighter on the prize pool, almost $250,000 to first. Play to a winner today. This is from Sunday. Pause, 9 come in. Going to be missing a few weeks. I'm going to be playing events at the World Series, so I won't be commentating for a couple weeks. We still have shows. We'll have that each week for you. And hopefully, I guess, Ben, you're not making the main this year. Almost certain, right? You said there probably will not be Vegas. You're too locked in. Business Ben. They're calling him around Bulgaria. Business Bulgarian Ben. He's really just becoming that. It happened, man. Wait till you have kids, then you'll really be out of the mix on the live stuff. Yeah.
But I enjoy it. Same time, I also hate it because I'm dependent on others a lot more than if I would play poker, right? If I fuck up, I fuck up. And sometimes in business, you're relying on other people a lot more. But it's part of the job, and also new experience, and you practice even more patience and understanding, and and sometimes you have to fight for your deals, and sometimes you get screwed over, and you learn your lessons, and you try to improve. Like I find it super fascinating, and we also have a lot of things launching the next couple of weeks. Some of it will be announced and shared in the ICM webinar that I mentioned earlier, where we're gonna have some cool stuff coming. And so just not the time. I would love to be in Vegas. I would love to play some of these WSOP events. Last year was crazy how many from our community were there and coming over and saying hi, and that's cool. That's cool to see some of these faces live. But this year it's definitely not possible. Very likely Yeah, also here, no, Mark, he looks like nice sevens, but same. Like Ramiro's gonna be opening probably even king seven suited a little bit. Ace seven. I mean, sevens is probably better than pocket eights and pocket nines.
Ooh,
Yeah,
sevens
the
need
thing.
help.
Yeah.
Need help. Radoja 4.98%. Just that two outs want to
He
come. They
jams
say
it
it
in.
always coming,
Yeah.
but not a heart. That's not good for him. Meaning not going to be a 7 as the red peels off. Ramiro, multiple time GGMillion champion. One we haven't really talked a lot about here on the stream, although he's regular and very talented. How much do you know about Ramiro, Ben?
Ramiro is a very interesting player. I think Mark is someone who's a lot more solid and doing less of the crazy stuff, but still a very good player. Ramiro is, I would say, less solid, but does more of the crazy stuff. So kind of like balance it out. Like Ramiro finds spot that I think Mark might not find. So yeah, I mean the sevens rejam is. It looks like we have 15 big blinds, but he's opening really tight, and I think it's probably somewhat borderline. Might actually be a fold. Against any other position, we could just gonna jam it, but it's very close. It's very close. I don't blame him. I definitely see myself jamming it from time to time. But if I would reroll it up,
the risk premium, he's the shortest by far, so it's not really. He's not like punting. It's just sort of a less of a crazy. There's not as much to risk there.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, like, if he doubles up, it's not like he is so far back, right? He has 4. He's going to be back at 1 million. If the others, like, if you double up and you still have a long way to go, like, your risk premium really goes down. So he's kind of like in that situation where he could wait an orbit more too. But again,
really
I fully understand. Like, I'm trying to also put myself in their situation, and I would say 8 out of 10 times I would for sure rejam as well. But is it the right play? That's a different question, right?
Well, I'll tell you what, Ramiro's stepping into the lion's den here. Although he does turn equity with the diamonds, he has the 9 or a diamond, which would be good. Ace 8 has the nut 8 and is likely doesn't have many 8s, right? That's part of this equation. Opening here, the 8. What 8s does he have? And Ace 8 off is even a stretch, right? So now he's going to get the new. And I mean, honestly, with the turn diamond draw, it is a paired board. But this is not what Ramiro was expecting, right? He was thinking, I got a cool lead, semi bluff, gonna get a free river, or just take it down. And now he's actually turns real equity, and now he's getting raised, but he's out of position on a paired board with the jack high flush draw. So this is sort of not super fun waters, right? When you're drawing, you don't know if you want a diamond, you don't know. If you can probably think the diamond's good, you can unlike your opponent's raising with the flush draw on a paired board with this action. So I think he's probably figuring his diamond is good, and he's actually just going to come on over the top of Miro. I mean, this is not what we expected. And
that's what I meant. I just told you. Now this guy, he can be crazy.
Wow.
This is something that Mark would never do.
Right. And he's going to snap it off like he's got tens full, but he doesn't. He is drawing. He has got 32%, needs help, or else Wartska. Oh, is that a 9? It's a 3 across. What is it? No, is it really the?
Oh, can it go any slower?
Oh, whoa! That was the super slow peel, man, and it was not blue. And that Ramiro just literally snapped him off like he had tens full, man. That was crazy hand. He, like you said, go. You just said it. He's got that gear. And
what did I just tell you?
Ace is the ace king for the chip. What is going on? This is a wild moment. You can just keep the clip rolling because this is like a train wreck in slow motion. And I mean, against Samuel, are we playing a 6 million chip pot right here with the 2 stacks with 5 left, Ben? You got dinner plans? You might make it over there in Europe at 9:30. This is crazy. This is definitely a wild moment here on the stream. That was a crazy run-up.
I say he's for sure gonna 3-bet. The question is he just gonna call and let Sam blast it off? Or
no, he's covering. He knows he's a wild man himself. He's taking this upstairs. He's going upstairs. I mean, then it's a matter of Sam. Could he just trap? But probably not. I don't think he's. I mean, this is. I think Ramiro's always re-raising. always covering 5-handed versus Sam, who he knows is going to be messing with him.
Yeah, but the thing is, and that's why he's thinking. That's now the question, right? Yeah, obviously you have a big hand, but think about it. If he loses, he's down to 500K. Yeah, okay, he's going with it. The money goes in. If he 4-bets it, then the money goes in. And Sam is going to click it to 1.2. And I don't blame him because I think Sam is capable of 5-betting here, very light as well. So that's what Ramiro with this deck size hopes for, and then he can jam and close the action. Right? That's what you're trying to accomplish.
Well,
so
if you're at home, you might have time. This could be a couple more pre-flop clicking. You might have time to get the popcorn.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Might go now to 1.
Yeah, you might be able to get that in get some kernels queued up because we are going to play a 6 million chip pot, and Sam is going to be such a favorite, and he's a guy that's going to be able to really put pressure on and know how to leverage this. So you're going to have Ramiro likely losing this hand unless a miracle, chopper, or win, right? It's going to be 6 million to 500 to 1.4, 1.2, and 1.9, and Samuel is just going to have a license to thrill for this rest of this final table. Again, still a lot that could happen. Could chop somehow. Could get unlucky, but 3.5. There's the jam. There's the call. Big pot, 6.1 million chip pot. Ramiro looking for help. King makes it available. 9 on the turn. Needs that king on the river, or we are going to see a massive chip leader, and it is not a paint, not a king. Ramiro didn't get to enjoy that chip lead long. He is now your short stack 5 left. Ben basically told us the player profile. Finds spots, goes for it, plays big pots. That was, of course, a cooler. Pretty crazy. If you really think about how big a cooler that is, the fact that the one guy who has a ton of chips, blind on blind, and capable, wakes up with aces to ace king suit, that's a pretty big, pretty crazy setup right there. But Ramiro going to get to shove quickly here. Pretty good spot. Gets to pick up some more chips. So he's back to 650.
Yeah, crazy hand. Crazy hand. I mean, let's talk about the Jack 7 earlier, and this is what I mentioned. I don't like the play. I think he's an excellent player, but that's what I mean. I think sometimes he takes spots where he's overpacing, and yeah.
I think part
but sometimes
of his logic
he picks. Yeah. Go ahead.
Is that he just like the guy should never really have an 8 probably raising there. Not many he does.
Course.
So like he just thinks he really thinks that he may be leveraging that fold equity, which I at that point I don't know. I mean but yes, you're right. You're exactly right. Radoja, someone I know very well, see him on the show a lot. I know he's won 2 World Series of Poker bracelets, and
he's a great player
solid.
for sure.
He's never taking that line.
Yeah, he would never do that. I know there's a lot of racks, right? You have different profiles. Some are more aggressive, and sometimes the aggression costs them money, but like overall the aggression is well timed. It's just from time to time overpacing, and it happened to me as well. And more solid players are not doing this, but they're also not punting off their stacks in those moments. But they're also not necessarily playing this high variance style, meaning then they're not going to be necessarily always having the biggest stack because they're just grinding it a lot more solid. But yeah, sick hand. Very interesting.
Man, how good is Yuri at poker? He just won his 5th bracelet. You play with him a lot, don't you, Ben?
Who?
Yuri from Brazil?
Yeah. No mixed games though.
True. Jack 8, Queen 4 suited. Both players backdoor hearts with a pair. The 8 comes in. Ramiro was behind, going to be more behind, but also drawing dead actually, and more importantly, kind of like has a decent bluff catching hand. And he's going to come lead the turn pair. Not the best when you're leading, repping what your opponent has, and that is what is happening here. And let's see if Sam just going to call and see what happens on the river here. The club does come home, but Ramiro.
I mean, he might consider value betting against ace high, right? He's going to have ace king, ace queen. Wow, interesting. He checks. But sevens, they're going to have queen 10s, 10 sevens, all these kind of hands. So I think he's just going to jam. Hope he has a 4 or a 9. I think in theory he has to call. I think he just has to call in theory. if I'm honest. He makes the fold, which is good, but Sam is just going to have too many draws, right? It's just an 8, or is he really jamming something like 9-3 against what? It's debatable, right? Of course, the occasional hero call, I think 8-6 suited, just all in, yeah.
Let me ask you a question about this. We're talking about player profiles. You know, yourself, you have notes, you have reads, guys, their styles.
Yeah.
How effective would it be if Mark Radoja like took that Jack 7 suited type of play, like in that scenario where you say he's never doing it, and incorporates that? And how long would that last before you saw him do that one time and you would say, oh, okay, he's capable now, or you change your mind? Like, would you, do you think if Ramiro tightened up some pips and kind of switched games with Mark, and Mark switched games with Ramiro, how much value would that add to their repertoire, do you think, if any, or would it just kind of not last long anyway?
I think on high stakes, the people adjust a lot faster because the player pool is smaller.
Yeah.
I would be surprised. I would definitely take a note, but I would usually in brackets, I would write a question mark. So it means I saw something that does not match the player profile. And sometimes people just have a bad day, you know, they tilt or whatever. So I just write it down. It happened, but I'm not necessarily changing my game plan yet. Keep an eye on it. If I see similar patterns, similar hands, showdowns, if he amped up the aggression or not. And it's more like observing for the time being, you know, more like this. I wouldn't make crazy adjustments as of now.
Yeah. Samuel also there. See, just seems to know when to put the pedal to the floor and when to slow down. He makes a big raise pre 5x against the second stack and then just misses completely and doesn't parlay, doesn't compound or try to go for it. He just really just gets out of the way there. So again, he's got a really big lead. You can see he's got more than, he's got more than the rest of the stacks combined. He's got 6.3 versus 4.7 total in play. So over half the chips in play, 5-handed, pretty big lead. Pretty big lead. And EE Weed here has been looking like he's wanting to tango. He's been mixing it up, playing some hands, but he really hasn't got anything going. Although every player here now guaranteed almost it was 86,000. You can see the pay jumps, 232 up top, no deal making available, 9 deuce suited. Going to be in there with an over. Sixes, pretty good flop for sixes. Blind on blind, 1 over. Doesn't have a heart, 2 hearts. Does start betting.
Yeah, this is not a good board for the small blind. Just check fold. Usually 2 low cards and limp pot are always really bad for you.
I got about 1,000 watching. Welcome everyone. Let us know you're watching from the world. Ben over in Bulgaria. I am back in the States getting ready for the Vegas WSOP. Going to be out there. Please say hello if you see me. We will be having shows every Tuesday, even during the World Series. I will be gone for a few, playing the main event, playing a couple side events, but I'll be back in July, a couple weeks, and we will also be we're gonna be doing a lot of content out there, so I'm excited. I'm out off family mode for a couple weeks. Going to be really locking in and doing a lot of different various content. I do enjoy being there and really just there's so many great what's the word, vlogs and I've been impressed with the quality of a lot of the vlogs. I mean, I don't get to watch them in full, but I do see like Negreanu, Kevin Martin. There's a lot of people really amping up the production value and having editors and getting it quickly out. You know, it's nice when you play an event and it's out the next day, right? Versus like a week later or something. It kind of keeps you ingrained. Negreanu's really dove into the matrix on that. Kevin Martin as well. Is there any vlogs or any content you keep up with, or are you just so busy you catch little clips and stuff here and there? You're probably not really watching. I doubt you're watching people's vlogs, but
no, from time to time I skim through. I mean, Kevin's doing great content or making good content, but usually if I spend time on YouTube, since I'm so much in poker involved, I prefer watching something else. I like to watch the replays of big tournaments where I can see all the old cards. It's a great way of getting a lot of sample size in and understanding what players do in final tables, and it's a bit of entertainment, enjoyment. But usually I like to also just watch some gaming content, or just to unwind, or something like that.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, 80 thumbs up so far, about 1,000 watching. We welcome you to hit that. We will be a giveaway at the end of the stream today. Going to be a giveaway, so be ready for that. That is the first part of the giveaway, the thumbs up. All right, well, not a good flop for King Jack suited. The nut flush draw, 2 overs to a lot of hands, but now he realizing if his player has a 5, his opponent has a 5, or some other holdings, he could be like 40. Yeah, he's in the no longer the diamond so relevant. So all of a sudden 4s, it's a really good turn card. Important pot, 637 in the middle. 1 versus 2, does check back, makes the boat, but doesn't change anything. Still 3 aces with 2 4s. So it's a good card in the perspective. The overs doesn't have to worry about random overs other than the 5. So I mean, he's pretty high up in the range here.
Yeah.
May want to think about value betting, right? I mean, you beat pretty much the king high, king jack, king queen. These type of hands are, that's not much you're worried about when as played.
Yeah, you have 6, 7 in diamonds. You have 10 high diamonds, 9 high diamonds, jack high diamonds. I think we definitely want to value bet there, or pretty weak full house.
Yeah. Also, though, I get it. The check back, you're in healthy second. You win that pot, you have 2.5. If somehow Samuel, who's so elusive, so tricky, puts you in a tough spot, or even just has like 7s or 6s, although he would be, I think, betting his hand in that spot. But either way, he does get the pot, 2.5 million, and he's double third place. So LeBrunns, who came in as chip leader, Samuel was second. They're still 1 and 2 flip flop positions, and then everyone else sort of doing their thing. Ramiro, after the big cooler, got 10 blinds hanging on. To be fair, he did hit a huge get there, right? With the Jack 7 suited versus Ace 8 versus our last week champ, but he is still in with 5 left. And short, Queen 10 going to go ahead and open. 2 4s closing action. Pretty nice call, just a call here. Can't imagine anything else. And Queen 10 flops well. Middle pair, second up flush draw versus the measly 4s. Does have a diamond. Vlad's been pretty quiet. Wonder if he's going to stick on for a small 20% bet, but I doubt it. Not really that appealing here, right? This is just sort of, you're guessing. You hit the diamond, you don't know if you're good. You got to hang on a few streets. He does peel one off and does hit the diamond. Could cost him a bit of money. What do you think about the call there? You don't hate it because maybe Sam shuts down random hands. You have a diamond that could be good.
Yeah, no, you wanna call. He bets all his really bad hands.
Right.
Ace 5 in hearts and hands like this. And even if Sam has a hand like, king queen. I mean, if he has king queen with the queen and diamonds, you're in pretty bad shape. But yeah, we're definitely gonna call once here with the diamond. And then I think river. I mean, Sam has the Royale draw.
Yeah, I mean, this is, if you start, I don't actually blame him for calling, because if you think about it, it's like, all right, Sam's got such a wide range. Does he really have the ace or queen? There's 3 diamonds, the king, jack 10. And then, of course, he's opening, though. One of the things that works against Vlad here is that he is going to be opening such a wide range with this big chip lead. So he definitely could have some random, 8 or 9 diamonds. But then he's probably thinking, is he betting those hands on the turn? So it sort of comes down to polarizing. Is he super big with like the queen or the ace somehow?
Yeah.
And I guess like you said, he's gonna call 2 and then decide, call flop, call turn, and now doesn't like the river. But this is the thing, Sam, with these chips, he kind of does have a lot of probing money.
What sizing is it? Somehow it's a bit, is it pot or what?
510 in the middle, is that right? So it's 382.
Okay, sorry, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, big. And king 7 covering. Yeah, pretty easy shove here. 2-8 offsuit, nothing to think about.
Yeah.
No ace here, even no pair, nothing great. Five-handed. That's the beautiful thing about whole cards up. I love you get to kind of get a good feel for how strong hands are, how hard it is to make hands, get hands, and that's why it is even crazier that ace is the ace king. You know, Ramiro's definitely punching air at home because of that situation. It's just so ridiculous to get that set up, especially again. Any of the other stacks would just be a dent in his stack, but
Yeah.
that was most of his stack. And you know, but you were thinking the other once he three bet, or what was it, raise, three bet, four bet, once he put that back raise and you knew it was going in, but you think there's a world where he could have just called the ace king? You think that might have been a play, just a way
Yeah,
to do
against a
it?
3-bet, this is where I say where, you know, you battle it out against one player, and you might say, well, I give up a bit of EV to keep the variance low, and because I have such a big stack against the other players and leverage that. That's the concept of future game and tournament poker, where I give a little bit up of EV now to leverage my EV against all of the other players. But yeah.
All right, LeBrun's disconnecting there. You can see the chess clock. Every player 15 minutes start. No one really short today. It's gone pretty fast, so everyone got plenty of time at the moment. And again, if you do use your clock, you're not out. You just have 5 seconds each street to act, which is definitely a disadvantage. See that time and time. Maybe every other stream, we see a player run out once in a while too. But today doesn't look like we'll have that situation happen. And appreciate the kind words. Some people watching. Jed Rez, if I'm pronouncing that right. Welcome. Thank you for the words again. Ben CB, three-time guest, also on the podcast, has been on my podcast a couple times, including the first ever guest. You're in the newsletter today, Ben. Focus featured on there. I got started a newsletter back up. You can join on jeffprospoker.com if you want to be in touch about giveaways and up to date content. Ben was the first ever. That was back when you were mystery Ben CB. Do you remember that? You'd never revealed your face. That was in you were my first guest, and it started with the blank recording. Then we followed up. Actually, I think we did your reveal. I believe I was the first ever reveal. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I think it might be. I know it was called reveal. Maybe you did something else before, but that was yeah, two significant podcasts for me. That was a lot of fun. Old school. I think it was like maybe episode 50 or 40 or something. I don't know, 57 or. But you're in the newsletter, Ben. You got to join my newsletter, man. Come on, pop in there on my website. You can see you're give you a lot of love today. Raise your edges on there as well.
Will do, Jeff. Let me see where. It's not on the Jeff Gross podcast channel. Jeff Gross.
If you just type
maybe?
in YouTube, type in Ben CB or Benjamin Rolle, type it in.
Yeah, but I want to see if.
Look at this. 6-9 gets the king six to fold. And this is what we're talking about. This is where it's time to party for Sam. Gonna start leveraging. Of course, LeBrun's on his direct left, but once he gets that open and through, he really doesn't have much to worry about here. Let's see how wide he's gonna go. Queen three off, or is he gonna slow down? He is gonna go queen three off, and he's gonna run into top of range. And Vlad gonna be shooting it up on him. I wonder, is it 30 blinds? Is it just all in, or maybe a little too much to just shove? Maybe big three bet. I think 25 blinds, you just surf it an ace king off. 30 blinds with Ramiro short, maybe you don't want to get cute. You just want to take it down, but also you could induce 280, 320, something sizable. See what he goes with. I mean, I think you almost do. Maybe do you want to give rope to Sam because because Ramiro's short, he could three bet all in ace five suited or something, four bet all in.
Yeah, definitely
find some hands. So he does go for the less variance route, but
that's a big mistake. I would say pretty significant. I mean, it depends if Sam considers him to be too tight, but here Sam is opening queen three off. All right, maybe it's a bit out of line, but he's going to be opening queen seven off, king five suited. So against a three bet, you need to defend very wide. And for the ones that are part of paired ICM, you might remember a lot of the study sessions we had on Twitch or the scenarios and ranges we provide that it's a spot where Sam probably has to go all in with 7-6 suited, king jack suited, king 10 suited, suited aces, and even has to 4-bet forward with some off-suited aces, you know? You just leave so much value on the table. And I feel like he's just jamming it because he doesn't want to play post flop, but yeah, that will happen, and Sam will hit his hand with Jack 10 suited from time to time, but you just get so more money in long term.
Yeah.
And Not necessarily with the queen 3 off, but if Sam has king 10, like I'm pretty sure if I would be in the spot with ace king, I 3-bet, and Sam has ace 5 suited, he has ace 2 suited, he has king queen jack suited, he would just very often rip it in because I would be bluffing this spot reasonably often. And that's why when I get good cards, when I run it hotter, I just get so much more money than someone who's just, oh, I have a good hand, I go all in. And they're maybe afraid to induce because they might be playing post flop. Interesting 3-bet here.
Yeah,
I don't hate it. I think it's nice.
Wow, LeBrunns.
You see, this is what I mean. Yeah, big move here. I like it. I like it a lot.
Nice play. Puts risking a lot, ICM wise, a lot as a big second stack there. If he just runs into aces similar to Ramiro, but again, it's such a huge difference with that 4-bet jam with his position now, right? He's healthy, 2.7, asserts some force to Sam, lets him know he's playing a bit, and he is, again, the pay jumps aren't massive, they're relevant, but he's saying he's willing to run it right there. He's 35% or whatever against anything but aces basically there, 34%. So I mean, worst case, not the end of the world. Tell you what though, Sam gobbles that stack and has 8 million to 1.3, 900 and 300. He might, probably just in the shove party. 25, 50K. Blinds are up, level information up in the top left of your screen. Appreciate everyone tuning in. A lot of familiar faces, some new ones. Again, Ben CB, Benjamin Rolle joining us, third-time guest, also a member, founder, creator, CEO of Raise Your Edge, one of the original and top coaching programs online. More information on that you can see in the newsletter I have on my website, jeffcrosspoker.com. He was featured today. And Raise Your Edge. When's your next you're doing a live meetup in Bulgaria? You guys have some scheduled stuff coming up?
Yeah, I have some online stuff first, like new stuff we're going to be having at Raise Your Edge coming soon. And then, we'll probably start working on some boot camps that we want to organize here in Bulgaria.
Bulgaria. Got to get that off my cross off the country list. How far is that from Estonia?
I mean, it's pretty much just from north to south. So Estonia is more like it's east, but not northeast. And Bulgaria is a bit more on the south border with Turkey, border with Greece, border with Romania. Probably like a 10-12 hour drive. Let's see, Estonia.
3 or 4 hour flight? No, 3 hour. Yeah.
I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say it's like, let's say
Ace King,
Tallinn, Sofia.
He's gonna call here. We just saw Queen Jack rip it in, put the pressure on. Here we go. Ace King, Ramiro. One of those things. He does defend. He's dominated, and he is gonna be. Looks like getting. I don't think he's got a check raise here. I doubt it. Although, I mean, to be interesting, Samuel does have such a wide range he's opening, right? Is there a world where he would fold if he missed? But I think, again, does defend, tries to hit the flop, doesn't, gets out of the way. Samuel extracting chips there still as well. He is up to 6.5 million.
Yeah.
Over double seconds, got a lot of chips.
I got it pretty wrong because, Estonia is like the very north, right? It's up there, Finland. Yeah, it's actually 28-hour ride. I thought it's
28-hour car ride.
Yeah, it says here to Sofia. But
so how long a flight is that?
Like it's a lot. It's a little bit. I mean, it's a weird route it wants to take. To be honest, it kind of like wants to go in a bit of a detour instead of just going straight there. I don't understand why. It doesn't want to go through Belarus. But still, probably at least 25 hours. Yeah, I kind of like, because we just had a trip to Greece and that was 4 hours. But yeah, it's just like on a scale, it's so much shorter. But yeah, it might be 3-hour flight then. Yeah.
3-9 off. Sam going to take it down. I mean, he's officially in the any two, just sort of make and move category. There we go. Ramiro short is going to have the best hand here. Going to get in against ace 4 suited. There are chops. There are You know, ace-4 suited, pretty powerful hand that's behind there. But either way, Ramiro is got not a lot of chips, 255 in the middle. And a possible chop situation. The 8 comes, so 67% to the river is a 5, and I think that does chop, right? The 8, 9, 5, 5 queen. Yeah. So definitely hard when you get that short to get it going. And that was a good opportunity. Got it in actually good and a chance to win. But here we go. King Jack off again, and Sam with 8-7 suited. So King Jack off, gonna play for a chance to double in a little bit. Pretty fair fight. And the king comes in, gut shot available. Needs a 5 or else Ramiro will be hanging around 10%, 9% basically to the river. Needs a gut shot, not going to get it. So 300 Ramiro hanging in after the cooler. Plays a bit of a wild brand. And EE Weed is also fairly short. Got about a double more than Ramiro. He's hanging around. LeBrunns is chipped, maintained his stack, has a good seat against Sam. Ramiro with the Jack 6 off.
Yeah.
Gonna get called here. And now this will be interesting because if Jack 6 holds, then we will have a situation with EE Sweet in him, but he needs a help, needs a double gutter. Got the 9 or the 4. And a Jack. Top pair, not enough. 10-8. GG. Sam is on fire, down to 4. Going to cue the giveaway very soon here for you guys. It's going to be a $50 or $100 giveaway. Let's take a look at that. It's looking good for Ben with the Austria. He's got 7.5 to my 3.5, let's call it. So bit of a lead, 2-2 in players. He has Austria plus Sam. That was a nice casual extra player grab of Sam, who is the table favorite today. And LeBrunns is in second after starting in first. So they flip-flop, everything else to play for. Everyone guaranteed 6-figure score. All right, let's do GG keyword is keyword 50 or $100 giveaway is GGPoker, raise your edge, and then insert. There you go. That's the $50 or $100 giveaway. Good luck. Type it in, get it going. It could be fast here. We are playing to a winner. Ace, King, Queen, 8. There is a re-raise and a takedown. So Ace, King, Vlad. I mean, to be honest, Vlad has been super quiet. Really hasn't had much going on today.
Yeah, he was also very carded. Yeah. But I hope if LeBrunns opens, he's going to reshove. This is now a hand, a very beautiful reshoving hand. He's gonna unblock a lot of, King 9s, Jack 9s, Queen 9 suited. That's a really good hand to have. I mean, I would also rejam 7s and 8s and ace 9 suited. It's just strong enough against the cutoff range in general, but it's just a very nice hand here to have. And you always have suckle potential.
It's true.
I'm very curious to see how Sam plays this. He might just rip it in against an open, or flat and play a little lower variance. I kind of like the flat a bit more. Yeah. You can see him check raising this on the flop. It's like just folding out those ace6, ace7, which he does not block. He has a bit of backdoor equity with the spade. He can barrel on an ace. He can continue bluffing on a 5 to make him fold something like pocket 7s, pocket 8s on the turn. Yeah, I think it's a very nice play. I'm not surprised to see that. Like, a lot of players would just call. If you just always call, there's a jack, he second barrels, and then you kind of want to. The problem is that too many players are bringing a lot of these hands too often to the turn, where you're supposed to check raise them, and then your turn range becomes pretty weak against the second barrel. So against a lot of quote unquote bad players, I would know that they would probably not find those check raises. So if there's a 10 on the turn and jack, I know they're going to have deuces and fives way too often because they don't have the understanding how and why we want to be check raising what kind of hands on the flop. So just call, especially in live settings. Now, for anyone at WSOP, pay attention to it. And if your opponent has a few more of those hands in their turn range, you don't really need to pay attention to blockers. If you would note look in the solver, and let's say you take a solver and you look at the flop range and you remove some of those check raises, you will see the solver will then just go like super aggressive, even hands that you're supposed to check back, some ace kings or ace tens, but just your opponent having deuces, fives, these kind of floats, maybe only 5 to 50% more than they're supposed to. That's already allowing you to be very, very aggressive. Then on the turn.
King deuce suited, limps in deuce five of hearts. Definitely one. Good to see him making it 175, 200 here. One of those ones where the low suited hands, kind of nice, get to rep high boards and get creative. Also a very vulnerable stack, right? 1.3 healthy. There's a much shorter stack. There's also LeBrunns not much ahead. I think this is like definitely a wow. You love to see this from Vlad, who's been quiet, utilizing his image here. Goes for the limp raise with the king deuce suited. I mean, that's pretty strong.
I love it. Usually you want to pick offsuited combos. This hand just does so well. Like we see the hands he's raising here. You would do it with 5 deuce, 9 deuce, 10 deuce, you know. Of course, some 9-3. Like you don't mind if he folds now an 8-4 off or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Ace 4, fives in the big blind, likely, let's see, 30 something blinds gonna go open, and then he folds actually. Wow, just doesn't want to tango with Sam, and they would have been a nice spot for LeBrunns. Now, I mean, let's see, he's gonna go with 175, and very, very, very unimaginable. Your opponent's got 0 overs, but that is the case with fives here. Although I mean, just a lot of hand blind on blind. Sam's gonna be opening so wide as someone calls, and potentially opens the door for a problem here if Sam wants to target. Although we did see him give up in a similar spot before, where he opened and then got a pretty subpar flop and decided to just shut it down. Here he's going to bet one, and I mean, does LeBrunns hang on for one? This might not be a spot where he double barrels. That's also a range where he raises, gets called, that his opponent's going to hit this board decent amount of time. So let's see if he does 0 equity turn continue or not. Could also just go big here, right? Like a big one, big more, and find out where he's at.
Yeah, just fold out king 8 and diamonds, just do it once and works well, Like just the 3 in hearts helps a little bit to not block, ace 3 in hearts and to block ace 3 in hearts. But I think Sam understands it really well. He knows that probably he's not betting enough on the flop. His range is going to be too weak. So yeah, I like it very well. Very well executed.
And queen. Very nice hand blind on blind. Opponent only has 11 blinds. Just going to want to be raising here. Yeah, king, queen, Vlad. I mean, again, so just one of those spots where it's always interesting when you utilize your image. That's again, getting card dead, not getting dealt in isn't the worst thing at a final table. You have Vlad now 4-handed. Didn't have to do a lot of dirty work. He's in position. He's actually in second with 4 left. Pretty good spot for him. How it's played out.
Yeah,
I just want to see where he came in. He came in as he was in 6th, right? So Yeah, definitely good to be 2 of 4. Nice situation. A lot can happen. We are gonna again play to a winner. Samuel has to be a huge favorite. Anything can happen, but he's got the chips and he is in command. And all players pretty similar in short. Nice spot for. Yeah, I actually saw one of the biggest leads ever in the 250K. Did you get to catch any of that? The broadcast on Poker Go. Did you watch any of that? With Ben
No.
Tollerin's Santosh won it. Ben Tollerin had like 5 or 6 handed. I think 5 handed. He had 70% of the chips in play. It's one of the biggest leads I've ever seen at a World Series final table. And he ended up getting second. Santosh was a super short stack, 5 left, and came back to win. Pretty incredible.
Wow.
Here we go. Ace, Jack, Ace, 7 suited. LeBrunns in the lead. Clean has the diamonds covered as well. Has to fade a chop. 3 king, chop it up, or a 7 to lose. Otherwise, LeBrun's going to knock out the player. It is a heart.
7 of hearts?
Very close. 3 across. But G to the E weed as we are again gonna see the podium finish here. No Austrian player left. Kind of surprising with 4 at the final table, none left in the final 3. And Ben does have Sam. We got ourselves a little game. It's about a 2-to-1 advantage. Gonna be a $50 or $100. Audience, it's looking like 50, but hey, 2 players versus 1. Anything could happen. Playing to a winner. I got to say I'm impressed. Sam, nothing really surprising that he plays very well, but he's really seems to just be dialed in, right? The 2s, check raise, the double barrel on getting 5s to fold. Is there something you think LeBrun's could have made an aggressive move there when he got raised with the 5s? Is it maybe too much hand just to rip it there? Or is that too much ICM risk at that moment? Ben, what do you think on that?
Yeah, it's close. I mean, now with 3, 4, like as we talked earlier. So when you're 9-handed, you use, I think you said 8 to 12-handed, right? Is where the ICM is pretty high. Usually in the final table bubble is the highest. Now 3, 4-handed, the ICM usually goes a little bit down again, because now when you win, when you double up, you just gain so much more, so you can gamble a bit more. If you double up 9 or 8-handed, you're still so far away from the top placements that your goal, your incentive is a little bit more to just secure those smaller pay jumps and then take it from there. It's like explaining it in a nutshell. So you can gamble a bit more, 3-handed and 4-handed, but like not in terms of ripping it in with 7-5 off. But if you for jam, Jack 10 suited, raise 5 suited, some of these hands just get in there, and so it's something I'm working on right now, like to show people how to play spots 9-handed versus 4-handed, like identical stack sizes, or with 4-handed, and we have the same stack and then we change the other stacks and how it impacts our strategy, even though we were exactly the same stack and we're third in chips. And it really also matters how far we're away from the other top stacks or how close are we together. It sometimes changes your entire strategy. What do you think?
It felt in the moment, of course, seeing that he had 4 high, and just always there's the commentator whole card up bias, but it did feel like a spot where he's going to get abused a lot, and his stack to pick up that 175 pre and just take it down, where he's going to most of the time take it down. He's going to be flipping usually at worst. I'm almost like I would probably have played it aggressively, but again, I get it. There's another very short stack, and I see the logic on both, but the fact that Sam's going to do that, even on that dusty flop, barrel, and then barrel on a 0 equity bluff, you're just so much off, and you're going to get blown off of your hand, I think. So it's like, I mean, sure, you could hit the set and like let him barrel off, right? And you're going to double and whatever, but so much of the time, I feel like you're going to get crushed. And here we go, little 7-9 suited, little check raise, just airball, backdoor, double backdoor, diamond, straight possibilities. But wow,
I like it. Yeah, I like it. I like your idea there to just rip it in. I agree. I also think it's, especially against someone like Sam, Sam, he finds all these, someone would just give it up with 4-3 off, not find the pot size bet on the turn, or I think it was even slightly overbet or 2/3. It's a bit blurred for me, but
also, like, looking at the difference, I'm picking up the 175 pre, the ante plus keep your big blind, versus calling 175, calling 100, right? So now you lose 270 versus like winning, whatever, the 300 or something, or whatever the difference, I mean, so it's just, I don't know. We're wild hand here going check raise, hits the 7, checks it. Now Vlad is in defense position, thinking he's got some decent showdown. And to be honest, yeah, he's got a pretty good bluff catching hand with the 7. And, Sam with one of the worst hands he could have, 8-9 off here. SPR of 1. I mean, I just wonder if he rips it on him here. Is Vlad or big bet? Is he snapping or is he going to tank for a long time? Because it's pretty interesting. Man, this is a tough spot. I mean, look, 3 left. If you fold and you get bluffed, or if you're half of second, you call and are right, you're going to win a big pot and you're going to be in great position. And you do turn your 7, you check raise, but man, it's not easy, right? You got
And
check
the thing
raise.
is, well, yeah, like it's really just a 3-5, 5-6, right? Sam is also good enough to jam any jack here. Yeah, crazy. Wow. He didn't give him credit for 6-10.
Masterclass, Sam Vousden, big chip lead, 2.5 total chips for his opponents, 8.5 for him. He is running amok right now, and this is looking like his to lose. Big lead, 3-handed. And you can see he's already got, 18 million in GGMillion earnings, about 5 million in 18 million GG earnings, about 5 million in GGMillion earnings. He has 2 titles this season, 1 last, 3 overall, 18 final tables. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolute boss. I think Sam is, if I would make a top 10 list.
Man, I was just, she does shove though. Maybe a little bit overzealous here with the third, with that 1.6.
Yeah, I think the way they have been playing, I think I would just min raise. I don't think they are playing back enough.
And LeBrunns is doing a little thinking, but obviously never folding kings. He's going to love to see no overs. The Windsor, if you will, 7-5 suited versus kings, and gets a pair backdoor straights and flushes. Not over yet. It is looking good though. 7 or a 5 to fade, or else we are going to have a big double and make it a little more interesting. And it is a deuce. That is a good news for LeBrunns, who is chip leader. And that was, I think, just a little, almost like he got bored, maybe just a little too much to shove and in that spot with this, how they're playing. I don't feel like he's going to get played back at by LeBrunns there. I don't know. I'm a little surprised by that, but I'm not questioning him. And at the end of the day, still a 6.8. Worst case was that LeBrunns wakes up and wins, right? And now he's still cruising. But yeah, a little bit of a hiccup there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the raise is just so much better there. There's also not a crazy short stack, so both can call relatively wide. It's like they don't have an incentive now to be very tight and wait until someone other bus, because the big blind still has, what was it before the hand, 17, 18 big blind, so it's still going to be covered orbits. And I mean, given Sam's advantage, wow,
that was the card.
He can shove pretty wide, because you see LeBrunns doubles up, but Sam still has double the chips, so it might be like a ICM approved jam. I don't want to doubt that, but I think exploitatively, I slightly prefer the min raise there.
Well, the interesting part is he has kings. How far down is LeBrunns folding? That's the question. Is he folding ace jack off? Is he folding ace 10 off? Is he folding king queen suited? What hands are you getting him to fold that are so strong?
Yeah, I think king queen is folding. Ace 8 is folding. I think it's going to be ace 10 plus, pocket 7s plus, something like this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, ace 10 off there, you're not thrilled, right? It's not a great thing. You don't love seeing calling there.
But, yeah.
Ace jack is on now. He has a question. Does he want to bet something? Maybe some blockerish bet or not? I guess you're just going to get checked back. You're going to let him bluff too. But I mean, this particular holding may work out, right? Where the 6 feels like it's strong enough to set with the straight, where you could get some 2 pairs to call, some other hands that don't like fun.
Wow.
From Sam.
Yeah, crazy. I did not expect that.
Nice.
Holy smokes.
Ace?
I would have seen myself betting there quite often.
What percent of the time do you think Sam wins with the 3 million and the 1.2 stack three-handed here?
Sorry?
What percent of the time do you think Sam takes first right now?
Oh. I mean, with his skill level, probably 80%. But I mean, they're spicing it up now. They're getting a little bit more aggressive. So maybe that was his reasoning to just strip it in with the 7-5 suited, right? He's probably also catching up with the delay.
Wow. Wow, ace deuce off, it clicks it on him, and 5 deuce, 5-6 suited. This is frustrating.
That's the problem. I think now you have to call. It's just like
right.
getting
Yeah, that's what I'm saying with this particular hand
for 2.5 million pot. And you know, Sam is going to be either on queens plus or ace king.
Oh, the boys are playing, man. Maybe not 80% anymore, Ben. Boys are playing.
Okay, yeah. All right. We got a game here. We got a game.
Definitely not 80%. Now we got less than half the chips in play, and LeBrunns is playing it. And does he just want to set the tone? Does he want to just come with the K7-0 and fire it into aces? No, not going to happen. But 9-10 off certainly will defend, and going to be in a bad spot, at least to start. And that is, excuse me, the flop that is potential for a, I mean, this is feels like bet check raise, definitely possible. I guess he's definitely not folding. Of course, is he going to call or check raise? Doesn't have diamonds. Yeah. This is his. I mean, considering he's checked raise with some stone air, this feels like one he could. He does not, and he does get the queen of diamonds, which is not going to be very interesting to him because now it's.
I think Sam is going to check this.
Yeah.
Because Vlad is going to have a lot of like Jack 9, 10 9, 9 6 kind of floats. We have very little equity now since Sam has the diamond. He just continues going for value, which also is fine, obviously. And if he jams, you just stack it. You have to call, but either way, it's fine. I like both lines a lot. Checking also has a lot of merits. Obviously, he's going to be calling any king, right? He could even value jam on a lot of runouts. So that's what he was thinking, right? This is why Sam is also good. He knows that his hand can go all in on some rivers. And if that is the opportunity, then he also wants to set it up on the turn, because if you check back, you can't get this entire stack anymore.
Yeah, pretty interesting flop. Got shot over. Bottom pair, backdoor flush draw. So both players interested in the hand. 60K, certainly going to be continuing. Does continue. The 8 pairs. The trips for Vlad now. We'll have a decision if he wants to keep betting or checking. I guess with getting called on the flop, there is a variety of hands that are still interested. Go small. I don't mind that. And the 9 pair, so has a full house, loses to a 9. Jack 7 came along for the sizing again. And now Vlad does check it, which makes sense. Could get some bluffs.
He has some showdown value against some 6-5, 6-7s. I think it's a spot where you
beats 10-7 too.
Yeah, 6-7, 10-7, 6-5. I think if Sam has 6-5, 7-6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
yeah, I don't think he's gonna fold this. It just
his hand looks like a 9 to be fair, but yeah, I mean, it just seems like if you're folding this, it's too much exploit. You're gonna get exploited a lot.
Yeah. Listen, I don't hate the fold because it's still close. It looks like, oh, he has a boat, right? But Sam is gonna jam a 9 or nothing, and
well, Vlad's locked himself up 141K after being in third, rocking the Montenegro flag, using some of that chess clock, still 6 minutes. I always say it, think long, think wrong. he is thinking, taking his time, big decision for his tournament life. 846,000 would be calling off. Pot's 435, so he's got 2x SPR, and he is, again, this is, I think, one of the good things to consider when you're deciding to call big bluffs is a player capable, right? Are they creative enough? Are they crazy enough? And I mean, Sam obviously has got the full game plan and full spectrum of options. So I think when you start getting close here, also 10 jack, 10 7, all these things do miss. The flush you beat, so like it's like he's not shoving a flush as played like with the 9 pairing, right? So you don't have to worry about, I mean, he doesn't have a flush. Basically, yeah, it's a 9 or nothing. Does he have a 9? You bet small, call, could have a 9.
Yeah.
Has other hands.
Very, very interesting hand.
Wow. That was a turning point. I think if he calls there, Sam's not the chip leader anymore. Vlad's healthy, and we got a new game. I think that was the moment where it could have gone south, but got the fold, still in the chip lead, and really, man, that was frustrating. Or yeah. For him for that run out and to lose. Very interesting, man. Yeah, 3-handed, still leading 6 million here. 4.5 and 700,000. Again, giveaways live on my Jeff Gross Poker Twitter. I got to put that into, do I have it still? There we go. We have 2 giveaways going. There's a question in the chat. I don't remember the spot, but he's asking, FL Grind 77 Jeff, can you kindly ask Ben when you get time, was that 10-2 suited fold by Vlad with 4 left from the BB versus the chip leader min raise open simply an ICM fold, even though we had 20 plus big blinds? I don't remember this particular hand, but yeah, I guess the chip leader open, it was from the button, 10-2 suited. He folded 20 bigs forehand. I'm not sure. I mean, again, those are always interesting, these type of spots to defend or not, closing the action. And I think you see a mixed strategy here. Players really do approach differently, how tight they're calling out of the big, what the stack size is, what the other stacks are. I don't know if you're familiar with that exact hand, but
yeah, but it sounds to me, yeah, it's a mid stack there. Like it's a really bad hand. I would probably call it 10-7 suited and better. This is where you need to make adjustments to ICM as well. Yeah.
Well, Queen Jack suited, King 4 off, and Jack 10. Now Jack 10 short 11 blinds, 12 blinds, got 720 to start the hand. King 4 off. Does LeBrunns with this rag? I mean, yeah, he seems like he's always got the wheels turning to get aggressive here. Now Vlad short. This wouldn't work if he shoved. He calls 9-9 deuce. Jack Queen suited in the lead comfortably. Got the backdoor flush draws. Got the best hand. Dominating's in position, and probably going to be betting. And Vlad, who we've seen check raise in some spots. I mean, he doesn't really have much maneuverability right here. And
yeah.
Not going to get out the way there. Ace-6 suited. So yeah, we are close to a heads-up match. It would be if it stands with the chip stacks, it would be our first versus second to start the day. Would be heads up, and we have a nice little wager for the audience, the 50 versus $100. Right now, it's pretty even actually with chips for that scenario. King 3 off, gonna limp. Ace-6 off. Checks. Neither player make a parry. Ace-6 with ace high and the better draw has a gut shot. King 3 with nothing. Gonna check. And Queen turn changes nothing. Ace high in the lead. King high, got to think, could be good sometimes. Probably going to debate if he wants to take a small bet or just check. Does go for a big bet. And I mean, with the gut shot here, does call, makes this 6.
Yeah, I think ace high often is good, right? So he's gonna be betting a lot of like weaker gut shots, and I think Sam now is continue bluffing. I think on this card, all of his bluffs get there. He's gonna have king 7, he's gonna have 10-7, and yeah, so I like that.
Nice. Doesn't even think about it with the 6 there. I mean, does lose a 4-liner, lose to the queen, lose other things here. Ace. Wow, look at this 3-handed content.
We might actually, if small blind decides to 3-bet, then big blind jams, that Sam gets away from it. I think small blind might, yeah, wow, that's a tight fold. I think in Sam's button range we can always call. Like ace 9 off does so well against his 9-6 suited. Wow. No. Well, I'm out. That's a bit fancy play syndrome. That's not a good play. I mean, I don't know what you're trying to accomplish with that. You can even 3-bet small. Like you can click it to 4 big blinds, like whatever. You can do it with complete trash and you wouldn't be committed. Or 3.5 big blinds. Just, he's going to call you with queen jack suited. He's going to call you with whatever. It's just, yes, I get it. You want him to hit something and you get the money in post flop. But so many times where he's not going to put in more money but he would put in all the money pre-flop from any pair. And, yeah, okay. But this would also have happened pre-flop, So for Sam, it's like, whatever. If you jam, you sub 10 big blinds, I always call it off.
Yeah. Well, we're going to keep the party going, you should say. Ace 10 kings. It was a more time needed than likely we like you said would have got in. Again, not results oriented, does work out, does get it done. 1.4 million, but yeah, maybe you like the small 3-bet pre.
Yeah.
And we could have saved a moment there, as we see all players with similar chess clocks, not in the moment and a risk. Ace 5, Jack 6. Gut shot, best hand, Jack 6. Not much here. Ace 5 will check. Got to feel pretty good about the board. No spade for Vlad. Will be continuing. See if he's going to go for another check raise or just call. I mean, he's got the best hand often enough. Does check raise. He does mix in a fair amount of check raises.
Yeah. I like it. I like that kind of style, even with those hands. You see Jack 6 has a lot of equity if you just check call. And you can still get calls from King 9 diamonds, So I like it. I like that he is spicing it up a bit there. I think Sam is still playing really well. The 7-5 suited was the only one where I would maybe deviate a bit, but as we can see, maybe he had a better read. He already picked up some information on LeBrunns, who 3-bet 5-bet jammed the 6-5 suited, which is crazy. I think nice board to bet. Probably might also be checking now. Having a 4 and deuce is actually really good because he raised big. Big blind is not going to have 4 deuce or Jack 4, these kind of hands anymore. Some suited hands, so yeah, that's what he understands. So the deuce is almost a dead card, he very likely has not hit a 9. He gets some value from ace highs, so he's charging those. A lot of people would just auto check, and I think now he goes check.
Interesting with the 5x pre-flop. He's done this several times in situations. He does 5x 410 suited here, and now is going to start slowing down a bit. But pretty good flop for 410 suited. 9 deuce 4 with the backdoor clubs, and ace 7. Happy to check, and what a river, just comfortable now. And honestly, Yeah, if you're LeBrunns, you call pre, check, call flop, or I'm sorry, just call the lead, and then the turn goes check, check. You're sort of in a weird spot here where you're like good sometimes, but then maybe all the Jack 10, Queen 10, these type of hands continue, right? So then kind of like a week gets a little weird.
Yeah.
And Sam has really been putting pressure on, and I mean, he's going to think about this, I think, for a bit, but Sam's one of those guys to play against is tough. You just know he knows what's going on all time. So like you're really always like on high alert, like it's just he's putting big bets out there, making you really put in tough spots constantly.
Yeah.
And
No, for sure.
He's gonna win. He had it, but there's plenty of times where he has not had it today, and he is back into comfortable lead. Really, the thing the hand that most interesting to me was the 7-5 of diamonds. I just think it was a little too cavalier with the stack size, and based on their play, that wasn't necessary. But again, still at the time. Oh, here we go. Ace 2, Ace 9. We could flip the script on our second and third. Ace 9 versus the little deuce. 9 pairs. Great flop in this situation. Turn clean. That's a lock for a double. So 3.1, 2.1, and 6. Sam with half the chips in play. LeBrunns now in third. And Ace 9 gets a really nice run out there. No doubt was ever in doubt. And Sam now with a new situation here, a little more chips spread around, but he is 3x and 2x the stack sizes. And 7-8 off, going to come with a limp. Not going to get to see it. King 9 suited, Queen 8. Let's see if he goes for that 5x. I mean, this is maybe doesn't need to, I guess, he doesn't want to be, goes a little lower, right? 3.5.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to be 5x and like full. He's also got a pretty strong hand here. And Queen 8 off. I mean, LeBrunns has been tangoing with.
Could 3-bet that.
Here. Was that?
He could 3-bet that. It's not a bad hand to do so. And I think.
Wow. Now it's him. I mean, maybe a little bit. This is a little bit of a bizarre one, right? All around. And King 9 suit's like right in the middle of like a strong quality hand, but really to call off, like even if he, has a hand like some random hand like this, he's risking to be like tied for the chip lead. He's dominating right now. I don't know. I think he's going to find a.
Yeah, but he's thinking, what is he shoving? He's going to be shoving deuces to eights. Wow.
He calls
it. He doesn't think he's
ahead.
shoving King 10, King Jack.
King 9, Queen 8, King high in the lead to the turn. 5. This could be heads up in a moment. This is to the river. 6 outs, 1 to come, and it is a 10. Queen 8, not enough there. Good game, good call. Heads up. And Sam.
I mean, the guy 3-bet 5-bet jam 6-5 suited earlier, right? And that's probably where, all right, if this spot, it's easy now to jam a 7-8 suited, a 7-6 suited against pocket deuce. I also think he would induce with 10s and better. So I think 9s is the only hand he's afraid of. And then against ace jack, ace queen, like ace jack, ace queen suited also often induces small 3-bet, right? Dynamic is very aggressive. And then it can become a pretty good call really quickly. Like,
we got a 51K heads up match. I am going to announce the winner here in a second. And then again, Jeff Cross Poker Twitter, see what you guys got going on. I think we've got a lot of people entered in that giveaway, but that'll be announced in the coming days. Still have time for that. And man, it's been entertaining final table. Really has been dominant for it's been dominant by Sam.
Yeah. Check call flop.
Ben, did you get the retweet out today? I got a bonus if you win. We'll give a raise your edge.
No, I
some
wasn't.
Bonuses. Got a big giveaway today, man. This is going to be a 50 or 100. It looks like it's going to be a 50. We got the tweet out, and Ben CB is here for the third time. I thought it was your second on your bag. I get mixed. We've done a lot of stuff. We've done podcasts. We've done GG Millions. We've done a lot. This is a wow, Jack. Look at the Jack 8 call, Ben.
Did he
He's
bet the
got
turn?
quads.
What do you mean? He could, I just checking Twitter.
I
Did he?
think Sam just called a bet on the turn with Jack 8 high here on Ace King 6-6. Wow. Sam's in the I mean, he's this hand is a bit of a wild hand. This is going to put him back in the mix, 7 to 4.2.
Yeah, crazy. Which retweet? The giveaway?
Live now. Yeah, live now. We got my pinned tweet or the second. It's a live now for today. GG Millions. It actually is the pinned tweet. $50 cash, Ben.
Okay.
Come on, man. I know you're one of those guys. You started with free rolls and $50, spun it up. It's gonna hurt if you win this. It's the dream. It's the dream. It is the dream. This is now a even more even match. 8-9 suited Jack 7. Jack 7 has a 7 of spades. And I want to give you guys a reminder on the fit. It's gonna be $50 or $100. Giveaway is live.
Check raise again. Yeah, this Vlad guy really likes to check raise a lot. I mean, he's also doing it with reasonable hands. It's not like he's just raising around wildly. And this also makes it harder to play against him on the turn, because when you know someone can also find a lot of like bluff check raises with weak hands, a lot of people would just check call. It makes his check call range a bit stronger on the turn. I mean, he would also do it with value. It's just like you see that now we're getting to a point where those opponents are a lot more difficult to play.
Yeah, blinds are 35-70. A lot of blinds. What, 70 blinds, right? 490,
Yeah.
4.9 about. I mean, deep, and Sam's got almost 9. He's got 90. So give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna use the restroom, as this could take a while. I thought Sam was gonna make quick work of this, but this guy, Vlad, he's showing a little aggression. He's coming in, he's making a few hands. This could go the distance. I will be right back.
Mm-hmm. So I think everything's standard. So I'm surprised he checks it back pre-flop. I think deuces might actually value bet now, and then Jack 3 just has an easy call. I mean, so many ace high, king highs in Sam's range. Just a small pot going Sam's way. Oh no, it was actually a raise pot, sorry. So he raised, obviously, they weren't that deep. He raised to Jack 3, checked it down, Vlad with a nice value bet on the river. I didn't really see the pot size, so I thought. Yeah, Queen 10 off, I think we have to call against a 3-bet. Yeah. I think Jack 10 off. I think 10-9 off is the cutoff where you start folding.
Well, Chess clock, 3 minutes, Sam now. Ace Jack, Queen 10. Not a great flop for Ace Jack. Again, hard to make a pair, but King 9 6. There's 2 diamonds. You don't have a diamond. Queen 10, Jack 10, Queen Jack.
I think you want to start betting this. Has a spade, and it's just a board where Sam knows he has a lot of bluffs, like 7-8, 10-8 suited, Jack 10, Queen 10, flush draws, but he still can't do anything. Like, it's just such a dynamic board that, on a 10, he improves a lot. On a Queen, on a Jack, like, just, he's going to be full of shit a lot of the times, but just can't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, when you say he has a spade, explain what you mean there. Look at the 4-5 off, man. This guy's just going for like hero status now, Ben. He's just putting it up. I mean, that's a huge 3-bet.
Yeah. Well, the Queen of Spades, he blocks some of Sam's Ace Queen Spades, Queen Jack Spades, the check call, right? Again, when you bluff, you want to have cards that makes it more likely that your opponent has a not.
Sam calls this massive 3-bet. This is a bizarre hand. I know, but because, just like the size is huge. 960.
Yeah, but like he's either going to be an ace king, or he's going to have nothing, and this nothing is going to be a king deuce off, a queen 3 off. I mean, 4-5 was not really a hand you want to be 3-betting here, but just like if you're ahead, you're going to be massively ahead, like massively. Maybe it's like 60-40, 70-30, and if you're behind, you're quite a lot behind. So,
well, for the audience, it's good news right now. 6 million to 5 million has the lead, and Vlad is showing the capability, the attributes able to win. He's putting big pots. He's inflating variance, and he has now got the lead against Sam. Right? If you know that you're playing against like the best in the world, you wanna.
Yeah, it's a good strategy for sure. If he's doing that on purpose because he knows that he just does, Sam has a massive edge. That's what you want to do, right? That's what you 3-bet a lot, c-bet a lot. Just like if Sam, and these spots then get really difficult to play. It gets really awkward. What Sam needs to do as an adjustment now is just to go all in a lot of the times against his 4-bets, and then punish that. But that's what you have to do. Or he starts limping a lot. Like, there are 2 options now for Sam. If he's really feeling like, okay, he's trying to counter me by 3-betting a lot of hands he's not supposed to 3-bet, you start limping a lot. So then you can call more raises, you play more in position, or you just jam. Like, one of the 2 things where depends on what you feel more comfortable. I lean towards just like I start limping a lot. Like, you might have seen me on Twitch when I was raising, and then I started limping, right? There's always a reason behind it. Because I always feel like I have so much heads-up experience from my sit-and-go career that I want to play heads-up as much as possible with a stack-to-pot ratio where I can play in position a lot.
Yeah, it's a great point. Well, here we go. King Jack 5-3, 5-3 pairs, has a club as well. Board is got a lot happening. Gonna check it over. King Jack doesn't have really much happening here. Needs a offsuit king or jack to win the hand. 5-3 makes 2 pair.
I think Sam might throw in a little block bet here against the king 6 kind of hand, like 90k. I mean, he could even go bigger because he would know that Vlad would very likely bet big. So he can even go 150, 200k. What is he betting?
356. So yeah, over pot, a little over pot.
Oh, he goes over bet. Yeah, this is just purely him reading that he would always bet an 8. He doesn't think he would check back an 8, right? He's just now playing his opponent, I think.
Okay, so blinds are up pretty even in the heads-up match, stack-wise. And Vlad, who showed us the 4-5 off 3-bet, going to flat here. And again, one of the benefits of these hands is the weak ones, the worst hands, you get to have control. He's in position, gets the c-bet, take down a lot of hands that just have no equity or that are ahead. Here it is, takes it. It's going to be, again, dead even right now. Who do you think's going to win? 1 for Sam, 2 for Vlad. Audience is, in theory, rooting for Vlad. Not only because he's the underdog against one of the most accomplished online players ever, also because it's a $100 ticket giveaway instead of $50, considering that was Ben versus me. And that is a fair fight now. We have got ourselves a fair shakeout on the opponent to win or not. 3-9 suited, going to be deciding if they're going to call or 3-bet. We know he's not folding. We have seen him get a little spicy with his 3-bets. And there you go. Big old 3-bet as well. Big old 3-bet. I mean, that's the sizing's, it's big, no?
Yeah.
Like really big. And that, I mean, he was doing that in the last level. Here we go. Kings. This could be, he likes 9-3 suited for the 4-bet. Let's see if Sam kicks it up and maybe Vlad gets a little stickier out of line here. Much smaller 3-bet from Sam. Snap fold though. Over 1 million GG earnings. You can see the player profiles fanned on the right and left. Ben is familiar with Sam, not so much Vlad. We see Sam finishing 22nd and 22, and he's the 11th ranked GGMillion player currently. Shows you the amount of volume, cashes, final tables, so much history. Here we go, a little lower 3-bet now. He actually changes up the sizing. 3-6 suited, but he is keeping the aggression on. As we said, that's a good strategy. Heads up if you know you're playing someone who's great. That this could be it. I'm gonna call it. I don't like
Sam is for sure going to be 3-betting this, and then he's going to be calling, and then we're going to see a flop. That's going to be 3-bet pot. Pretty much always.
All right, gonna choose the winner here, guys. You still have time. Hit the thumbs up. That is the first part of the giveaway, and then type in the giveaway info. GGPoker. Is this what we're saying? Is this where we're gonna feel it? I felt like this is the one. It just felt like the one for me. Just felt like it could be. And I mean, Sam has such a good spot here. He's got the top open end versus the bottom, although still a lot of cards, a lot of things going on, right? There's definitely possibility for Vlad to win, although advantage Sam, both open-ended, dominating draw though. The dominating nut straight draw versus the bottom one. 5 of spades brings a lot of more potential for the 8-9 suited. This is going to even things up.
I think this is the spot. Even if Sam does not improve, he knows, like his head doesn't matter if you have king, queen, ace, king. But the thing is with king, queen, because with ace, queen, your opponent very likely is not going to have ace, jack, would go in pre-flop, right? But like king, queen, like he's going to have the king, jack, king, queens, or like king, jack, king, queen kind of hands, or queen, jack, right? He bluffs those. And then he's going to have 9-8, queen 9. So if Sam doesn't improve, I wouldn't be surprised if he even hero calls the river against the 9-8, 7-9s, queen 9 suited, queen 8s.
Wow, checks back. Now. Sam going to make the nut straight. Board's paired, but pretty good hand in heads up poker, especially check, check, turn.
Okay, now goes
big bet.
Yeah.
And Vlad in the tank, he's got 9 high.
He's thinking to jam, maybe he bluffs with queen 3, right? Like Sam is going to have queen 4 or queen 6, like king deuce. So it's not completely out of the world to just get him off the king high and queen high bluffs, it gets a good price.
Yeah, well, not over yet. King 10 to queen 3. King 10 has the straight draw. King outs. Queen 3 has the second pair on the ace, ace, queen. 2 pair is that with the aces paired on the board. Has the winning hand at the moment. Not a lot of chips in the middle here. Was this a raise and just a call?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, King 10 suited. I think it's both 3-bet fine, call fine. I think he might throw in a small block, but I think he was going to check call. I think Sam knows he's good. And then I think we very likely going to see king hero call. I don't think he's going to check fold this.
Yeah, big bet. No. Felt like a big bet.
I mean, gets a big bet. Sam is going really big with those hands. If he starts folding king high, I can see a world where hero calls it, but that's the point. Like, I think if you bet 2/3, you always get the king high call.
Ooh, this is problematic for Sam. King, queen, and he's playing super aggressive, and Vlad is got himself a pretty big hand. Just calls, dominating now. This board Not what Vlad wanted. Obviously wants the king high in this situation or some sort of better board with potential. This is going to be less exciting for him and could really work out for Samuel's favor here. 5-3-7. Although he knows Vlad is playing a bit of a wider bottom cards, maybe seen at this point, and see if Vlad is going to hang on here. Although it's such an ugly board for the king queen.
Takes it down. And nothing you can really do with king queen there.
King 9, ace jack. Another two massive hands here. I mean, this is for heads up. Queen 7 off, computer hand. Just calls. Doesn't 3-bet. Again, yeah, one of those nice hands to play in out of position that you don't need to be 3-betting. You just have the best hand, or you don't want to get blown off as played. Ace jack, king 9 suited. So interesting. There's been some really big bets pre, and then we've also seen some kind of pot control discipline issued here from both players. So we've seen two different styles kind of intertwined at different times, both players showing range and capability. Vlad has got his work cut out for him. Ace jack certainly going to be, I think, continuing on this board, even though it's not amazing spot, but you still beat a lot of hands. You have ace jack, and little surprised he folded, but not, I guess, there's not so many good rivers if you're ahead even.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If it gets so big, if you're wrong, it's just so expensive, right?
I guess can't fault him for that with the as played. Also, he had a jack and a spade, not the necessarily best bluff catching probably card to have when on that board when your opponent starts firing. And here we go though, the queen 3 off. I mean, Vlad's really showing that he knows how to tango though, right? He's showing that he's willing to play, and this is one Sam's going to want to continue. Does call.
I don't mind just ripping it in with the 10-8 suited. It's going to be insanely profitable. He's done it with 4-5 off, queen 3 off, offsuited king ace. I think his frequencies
we
are
are
just
on a 40-minute delay or whatnot, right? He may not even have seen this necessarily yet, any of these hands. But you get a feeling.
You get a feeling. You know, if you play 20, 30 hands, it's more likely that he's just overdoing it than actually than actually having real hands, right? It's all about statistical likelihoods.
And 10-8, I mean, too much hand to think about getting out of the way here. And, you know, honestly here, 10-8, it's a pretty good hand. You don't have a spade. You don't have a queen or jack in your hand, hands that are bluffing. You have the 10 middle pair. And, I mean, if Vlad does decide to follow through here, I don't think Sam's going to fold. But, I mean, again, it's never easy to just call it off. Let's see if Vlad does want to go through. And Vlad actually realizing, too, he actually has a queen and a spade. Maybe he thinks that this isn't the best handed bluff as played, and Sam probably is going to check back and win. I don't think value bet, but then again, he might. I don't see the real point of value betting here, but that's the difference, right? That's
I mean, he's just like he thinks, you know, that he would always jam a king, and
I mean, is there any merit that he folds like a jack 10 there? Like, is there any case?
No. He's just value jamming.
Straight
because
value.
He thinks
right?
The thing is, like, he's gonna have sevens, like a lot of hands that are like under pairs, but they need protection. And I think if he has jack 10 queen 10, he's not 3-betting those pre, and he knows it. And he thinks he can maybe have a 10-3 suited, like whatever was the lower 10x. So he's value shoving against the weaker 10x at 3-bet pre.
Queen finds the queen. Innocuous, just a random queen on the turn, pairs his top pair. 5-3, you know, deuce 3 going to come along and may just be check calling again here, right? I mean, this is depending on the size. Sam may get greedy here, may go big. But
I think Vlad is not going to fold at 3 unless Sam goes again really, really big.
yeah, 600, 550 or something, unless, you know, but even then, maybe it's just a good catch. You know, he still thinks he's just beating a lot of hands. So hard to make a pair. If things miss.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a heart, but he's got a 5. I mean, I don't know. This isn't you know, 5-6, 4-5 bluff. He doesn't. I don't know. He's surprised me. Vlad's honestly played. He's been a little unpredictable.
Good fold.
On some of his decision, yeah. He has ultimately made really good decisions. There was one spot you even said you were like you didn't think he should fold, or maybe it was Ramiro. I can't remember. I thought it was Vlad, but he did fold and made the right decision in a spot. He is kind of getting whittled down here now. Sam with ace queen suited, he is in trouble. I'm gonna announce the winner here just in case it could be over any moment.
I mean, Sam is now also hitting good hands, and it's really tough. It's really tough. That's the problem if you play against someone that's slightly better and he's also hitting decent hands. Then you can 3-bet as much as you want, and it's just almost going to be impossible. So you need a bit of luck to find the right timings. And I think so far Sam has been playing the sets up really, really well. And yeah, it's going to be tough for Vlad to come back. I think he needs a quick double up because the bigger the gap, the harder it will be.
Yeah, he's getting short for sure. King 5 in the lead. Queen 4 suited. This has got some semi-bluff potential with the diamonds. Queen 4 suited, although he could be good sometimes too. So he does check.
Yeah.
Let's see what he's going to do here. I do want to announce the winner before this thing ends. We are going to congratulate Philip Verston Vort, I should say. Frivol is his username. Congrats to you. It'll be 50 or 100. Looking like 50. Sam in the major chip lead, but we'll wait to announce the amount as we see how this ends up. But Sam on the river here, does he want to make a king high call? Kind of weird when your opponent doesn't put any bets in at any point though, and then bets like kind of like, you know, I don't know. He's got under a minute on the clock. It's a pot size bet. All right, gives it up. Vlad finds a way to win. Doesn't make his hand, but does bet there. Ace 6, 6, 8. How many blinds are we at? 80. We're at like 22 big blinds. So getting thin. Yeah. Playing for $51,000. No deal making available. Gonna play to the winner again here today. GG Millions next week. We will have a show. I will not be here for the next 2 weeks as my plan is now. There's a chance, depending on some events or day twos or how the main shakes out, that I might be, but I'm gonna plan on not. I'm gonna go with positive. You know, positivity, Ben. The Helmuth way. I feel like I'm just gonna play and go deep and just take a few weeks off, and that's my intention. We're gonna see how that plays out. Can't wait to be out there in Vegas, give you guys some cool extra content. I'm gonna go overload. I'm gonna do a lot of Instagram stories, a lot of content, a lot of posting, a lot of filming, just kind of really dive in again. Nice. Been taking a break, so yeah, be ready for that. Be ready for some good action, and we will see again I think, I don't know how many years this is now, maybe since I'm 21 or 2. So like, yeah, it's a while, 15, 16 years out in Vegas. Been getting a little bit less and less each year of playing, but for the time being, I think it goes in like a wave, you know, wife, kids, and then they get older and maybe I'll get back on, you know, like it does seem in that like mid 30s, early 40s, you kind of, there's a lot of drop off in demographic of poker.
Wait, Jeff, I think we got a very big hand here. Oh, he has
Yes,
8-8. I thought he has, he has 2 pair, right? But I thought I saw 8-6, but he has 8-8. So I mean, he still has a legitimate.
Yeah, I mean, 9-5, 2 pair here as played. He's gonna go for it. 8's, yeah, definitely close here to call off. I mean, he's loses to a variety of hands. Also, just beats stuff, beats some value shove, but good. I mean, just knows, just finds a fold.
Yeah.
Cool, dude. Bob, appreciate you, man. Thank you for that. Appreciate all the support. We are getting low on the clocks, the chess clock, 47 seconds. Sam does have the lead. See if it gets to that point. I mean, he's got him. Vlad was in the desperation zone. He's got a little more chips now. After that hand, does have a winning hand here. Picks it up here. 2.7 million to 8.4, about a 3-1 lead. Or Sam did give up the chip lead for a moment, heads up, but did kind of find its way back here. Jack 3 off, maybe a raise with the big little. Is he going to go for that again? He's been doing that a lot with the Queen 3 off, with the kind of airball hands. He's definitely thrown up big raises. And to your point, Ben, he did start countering this, right? Queen 9 off, he's limping, not raising, and now kind of getting to call and bit overkill. Maybe gonna be the last hand if Vlad decides to just start betting out here, but I don't know. Maybe he just shuts it down. Queen 9-9 got to bet once, I think, right? Gonna bet something 280, 300 something. Come out firing with a matter of very small bet. Actually goes even smaller. And Sam thinking about, you know what, Vegas and the Mirage. This is the flop of flops, and just hoping your opponent has something. But Jack 3, there was really not much turn cards that would give him equity, right? In his mind, a 10 or an 8. And now when he gets called here, does he want to just sort of slow it down? I don't know. He does.
I mean, Sam is for sure going to be checking it back. I think he knows very well that he's going to be on these crappy hands, 4-5, Jack 3, King 4, you know. And that's a great card for Sam. And I think Vlad, he's been very aggressive pre-flop and betting, but I feel like he has not been really pulling the trigger on rivers, which Sam did, as we see. And if you find the right spots, you can see very well that it can work out. And yeah, I think
masterclass hand again. Gets
it's well played by Vlad. I like it. Like, he has to bluff here, right? In theory. Just in poker, you don't want to be results oriented. Just don't ignore what Sam has. Hover your hand over the screen. He's going to have King 10, King Jack, 10 8 that will bluff you out of the pot. He's going to have King 5 in clubs that floats the flop, King Jack, Jack 8, Jack 10, right? All these hands, just unlucky. It's just bad luck. Nothing you can do.
JBL, 18 seconds on his clock. That's about all that my friend Sam has going against him is his chess clock, but that may not be enough. That may not be enough. Queen 10, 5-6 suited, as we see a desperation time.
Sam might jam this against the limp. I think he's going to jam this because he's going to limp 10-5, 10-6 very often, Jack 5, Jack 6. Yeah. That's
and Vlad gonna limp call, kind of, I mean, semi-trapping in his mind. He actually has and Queen 10 is likely gonna double. There it is, 100% of the turn. So back to 2.2 million. There was a 6-5 suited jam. No, 6-7 suited in a 250K. My buddy Hook was also a guest on the show and podcast guest. He had a great score, 7-figure score there. As I think he got in 6-7 suited to stay alive, shoved and won a big pot. It's you can't blame him, right? That's the reason why you do that.
We're probably going to see another one.
Oh yeah, this could be it right here.
Never going to raise folding King Queen.
Ace 8 to be back into a match or GG. Let's see, Samuel. What a flop! The action flop needs paint. A 9 and ace. 70% favorite. Ace 8 Vlad on the turn. Can he hold and we play some more? We will. We will continue. We will continue, Ben. It is not over. And our friend Philip, who won the giveaway, is going to win potentially 100. Looks like 50. Not over yet. Sam had him down low, and Vlad is tunneled out with the real
two hands and back at it. Yeah, I mean, that easy.
You never know. You just never know. Sometimes quick streams turn into long streams. We started we're coming up on 2.5 hours. This was looking like it'd be short. They were deep stacked though, 70 bigs effective during the heads up match. At one point, blinds have gone up, but again, you can see upper left when the blinds increase every 20 hands. It does give a countdown on there. You can see playing for 51,000, no deal making. So that means the players are going to be playing for the win.
Are the tables turning here, Jeff? That's the question. Are the tables turning? Hits the king.
On the rivers.
I think on the king, Sam either goes for the block. Yeah. Interesting if Vlad is going to raise, but I think his kicker is a bit too weak.
Well, the jack is the kicker, so if he doesn't think he has king queen, but yeah, I mean, still it seems probably 13 seconds left. Sam's got a clock issue all of a sudden, 5 million to 6 million, and he is going to have a little less time to consider things shortly. If he used that ace king suited to 4-8 of clubs, clubs would be problematic, but he's going to raise and get a big 3-bet, I'm sure. So actually, he hasn't been going as big with his value and going bigger with his air ball. So let's see if he goes like 7. Yeah, he's going a little smaller, which wonder if Sam will pick up on at some point here.
Yeah.
That's definitely
what is it, 680? It's a bit
pretty affordable in position.
Well, what is the sizing there? Okay.
Yeah, 3x, a little over 3x. I'm a little surprised he folds. He could flop a straight as well. 8-4 suited, not a bad price, deep-ish. Are you surprised he folds that, or is that just like not a?
Yeah, I think it's close. I think he was debating it, but
King Deuce got a winner here as well. Got to fade the ace 4-5. Got the wheel draw. Ace high going to feel. I think it's a good spot to bet, right? You're gonna have some hands call you that are worse. This is with the deuce protect / get value from sort of hand like this, ace X, or some other hands here, and certainly Sam gonna realize he has the best hand frequently. Plus drawing to a wheel, and now I mean, oh wow, gets there, counterfeit. King Deuce, frustrating, but at the same time, you beat hands, right? There's a bunch of hands you're beating with King High.
Some queen eye flush draws that check call.
Yeah, chopping with some kings. I mean, well, we got a ball game. Not over yet. Hope everyone is enjoying. I did announce the winner. You guys can still hit the thumbs up. You're having a good time. Appreciate that. Every week, gonna have that giveaway for you guys on Twitter on my pinned tweet. That's actually still live.
Oh. Sam is hoping for counterfeited.
Yeah, I mean that is the card that's got him in. This is not ideal. He needs looking for a chop here. He is in a whole world of hurt. Needs a 6 to provide a winner. Definitely some chop opportunities, but this is a pretty good spot for Vlad. I mean,
Vlad needs to be very, very much on. What is it? 650, 8.
I think 850 even over. Yeah, I mean, yeah, against King 10, Queen Jack, Jack Queen, Jack King. Worse aces, and there is a diamond. But I mean, as played.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying as played. It's just this is 2.4 in the middle. He's going to be the chip leader here.
I'm afraid he might have been a bit too greedy on the turn. I think this is something Sam will keep in mind on the river. If you go for 2/3, 3/4, I think it's already big enough. What? He checks it back? Wow. The flush gets there. Okay, did that? Yeah, okay, I get it. Lucky for Sam. I mean, he's never gonna have ace jack because he raised pre. So it's just a miracle 2-pair, or he's gonna have a bunch. I think we still want to value bet there. It's a heads up. We can go half pot and just close our eyes. And he's gonna be calling any ace. And then you have 50% against. I don't think if you bet half pot there, he's gonna fold. So it's a bit. I think Sam in that shoe would have probably squeezed out a bit more value. That's also the thing. If you don't overbet, that's the problem, right? Yes, you overbet the turn, but if you bet 2/3 and another million on the river or whatever, because then also Sam is gonna have his range is a little bit wider, and
10-5, ace-8, gutter betting, ace-8 though, not the hand you're gonna get to fold here. Top pair, top kicker, 7-7-4-8, and Vlad is gonna be in a great position. 1 second on the clock as well. The jack comes off. When you get called, you bet your gutter, and now actually 10. Interesting. He has no clock time, right? 5 seconds each street. He does go for a bet, and I think this is scary, but ace-8, the ace kicker. I think you're gonna have to look this up.
yeah, I mean, Sam has been obviously value betting very thin, but again, you at some point he's gonna have 9-6, 9-5, right? Like, it's just it's a good card. Again, it's a good bluff, right? The Jack 9, Jack 10, his flushers get there. So yes, he doesn't have a diamond, but he can value bet any Jack here on the river, and which he also would, as we have seen. So just
I'll tell you
unlucky.
what, Vlad with a 2-1 lead all of a sudden got the middle pair here.
Yeah. I mean, he won 2 all-ins, then he rivered him, and then if you win 2 big pots and another semi-big pot, it just, this is how the tables can turn, you know. And then the ace 10 versus ace 6, just 4 cooler hands, it goes away, and I think Sam will definitely start betting the flop small. This hand is not necessarily good to bet, put in a lot of money right now. If you have something like Jack 10, where if immediate equity, you can bet a little bigger. This might actually
the queen there too.
Yeah, this might actually be. Yeah, I'm actually watching on the other side, so I have to. I mean, it's a. That's the point here now, right? He has ace jack that bets Jack 10, so he's lacking a lot of bluffs, so that's why he chooses to remain aggressive here on the turn. And Sam really fighting for the pots.
Sam,
Might be leading the turn.
Zeros on the board. 4-3, you can see it now. He does lead. You're right. Turn king 2, pretty good spot. Yeah. Your opponent is 0 equity, leading the turn. You're not folding, and you got a winner. So wow.
Well, that might save him. I was just about to say, if the flush draw break where Vlad is gonna have ace deuce clubs, ace 7 clubs, queen jack clubs, he might pull the trigger, but I think now he just gives it up. Yeah. And Vlad is gonna go for value, but I think also Sam would check to just get. If Sam has something like 10-5, I think checking is always really good, because he's gonna have 6-7, 6-8, 3 deuce suited. You know, you get so many bluff hands. Wow, you see, you call it queen 10 high. Like, it looks punty, but it makes a lot of sense. You know, it's either king, queens, jacks, 10s maybe, right? But there's so many combos of 6-7, 3 deuce, 6-8.
Yeah, club draws.
It's insane. It's a lot of combos. Yeah. And I think even in theory, it's a correct call there with queen 10. And I think the way Vlad has been playing, he's going to find those bluffs. So nice call, just unlucky. Blocks some queens, some 10s, does not block any of the bluffs, unblocks all the bluffs, the queen, the 6-7, 6-8 floats, flush draws, like a 9 high flush draw, etc.
And Jack 5 going to be small pot, but just showing you a little bit of a heat check right now. Up to 8 million, 8-3. Never over till it's over. Pocket 4 is king 8 here. King 8. And how much you've played a lot of these final tables on GG and the chess clock. How do you like that versus the other sites, sort of how they do it?
Oh, I love it.
And also, how much of a disadvantage what would you equate it to? What type of handicap is it right now with no clock for Sam?
I think for Sam, it's not so much of a handicap. I think it's more of a handicap for less experienced players, recreationals, because they obviously have a harder time to make decisions within a short period of time. For pros, it's a lot of muscle memory. So most of the time, you know exactly what you're going to do. And he is the only thing he's probably doing right now is trying to think ahead, to use the time when, let's say, his opponent is tanking, when you have those 5-10 seconds and you have a snap decision, you use the time where you actually don't need time, those few seconds, to think ahead, what are you going to do on certain runouts. So you kind of like use the time from the past if you're in that future spot. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Yeah, no, of course. Makes a ton of sense. Great bluff with 4s there. And honestly, yeah, you can't blame him. How can you really call there, Sam, with that on that board with his hand? And this is starting to get a little bit dicey for Sam now.
Yeah.
And Vlad, Jack 10 suited, maybe wanting to just such a good flatting hand. And he is in decent shape again here. Let's see if Sam keeps betting.
Yeah. And I think what Vlad wants to do is fast actions. You don't want to tank, because if you have a clear decision, don't give him the time. If you have a bluff, go for it. And then so Sam has as little time as possible. So if he has a tough decision, the less time you have, the more likely
he's effectively right. He's buying Sam time. Every time he's thinking, he's literally giving Sam the time. Yeah, it's that's a great point.
Of course, if you have a tough decision, you need to take your time. But if you don't try to, I need to balance, I need to look weak.
Wow.
Like, no, just
big moment there. I mean, pairs a winner, and Sam, that was a critical pot to put him up to at least 3.3 if he could hang on and get the showdown. Now Jack 10 has a winner, and Sam really, you can see
it's same spot, right? Lots of bluffs in
big
bluffs range. Yeah. Similar to the earlier spot, right? He still has King 7, 10-7. I mean, Jack 7 gets it. Actually, the Jack is a bit, I think, makes it easier. If the Jack would have been a deuce or something, or a 3, I think Sam would have more often find the call. But on the Jack, 10-9 gets there. Jack 7, Jack 9, nice fold, nice fold, nice fold. It looked at first sight like a lot of draws busted, but the Jack makes it a little bit easier for Sam to find the fold.
And pairs the 3, King Jack ahead, 700 in the middle. Sam with the Jack high flush draw, although behind, does lead sometimes.
Probably going to be leading again,
Yeah, does lead here. Gets King Jack though. I mean, still doing okay against a lot of hands.
It's gonna call,
yeah. And now Sam with the decision.
I think 6-5 gets there. Blocking the diamonds. Wow, he goes for it.
Vlad, click call and he's champion. It would be a hell of a call with King High, as you said. 5-6 gets there. He does have King High as a diamond, which is not great for him to call with. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. Does 5-7 shove or 6-7? So does he have an ace? Does he just have the 3? I think based on how he's played, he's really interested. He's really taking his time, does fold. You knew he wanted to. He was just trying to piece it together. This has been a fantastic finish here, as it's not over yet. 4 deuce, queen 7, Sam fighting. We've seen some switching of chip lead and 4 deuce suited. This hand I used to feel made a lot. Before I knew anything about poker and I started playing, I just love this hand. I feel like a lot of good 3-5 flops. You make some sneaky hands, but he's going to go ahead and 3-bet the 4 deuce. And there it is. We talk about the computer hand, queen 7 off, the dead middling hand, and heads up, no limit hold'em. Gonna fold, and another nice. I mean, honestly, Vlad, we said it. He was sort of quiet, but it was more card dead. He's really shown his game as this has gotten shorter handed. He's shown a lot of check raises. He's shown ability to bluff, and that actually can work to your favor if you can hang in a final table, right? Because sometimes you just don't get dealt in, you get short, and you never get to do it. But if you do stick around, you're kind of quiet.
He's gonna go for the limp jam. I don't think Sam is folding this.
Oh wow. Oh, wow. This is going to be it. This could be it. This is on their backs. Ace 3 ahead. Pretty fair fight. Queen Jack suited. Sam looking to extend the game. Ace 3 in the lead. River card, 6 outs, 1 to come, or we will have a new GGMillion champion. It is good.
He
Vlad
really
holds. What a swing. The giveaway is 100, not 50. Now Ben owes me some dinners and things and more. And this
Sam, what did you do?
It will never end. Vlad, what a performance there. What a performance. Crazy. Vlad Batrakov is your champion. And Ben, tell me the takeaways. At 1.3 hand, you said 80% you thought Samuel was a favorite. It seemed a little high. He is an unbelievable player. Take second, and as it turns out, Vlad is your new champion. And Ben, tell me, takeaways, thoughts, overall, anything stand out, impress you?
It was a pretty good final table. I think a lot of the smaller mistakes were not 3-betting or just shoving too fast, and then the punt from Ramiro, obviously, with the Jack 7, which was wild. But I have a lot of respect for these plays, because he went with his gut. He believes, hey, you're not going to be raising me with an 8. Maybe he was raising a 10, a weak hand that wanted to buy the free showdown. I respect those plays. That's why I think he's more on the aggressive side. But sometimes those plays happen that you're wrong and it costs you a tournament life, or almost your tournament life. He got lucky on the river though. Next hand, big setup. I think those were the 2 key hands where the dynamic of the final table shifted. And then moving into heads up, he played really, really well against Sam. And of course, choose some hands that are not necessarily theoretically correct plays, but he wanted to play back. He fought for it. Got a bit lucky with those 2-3 hands where he won 2 all-ins in a row. And then I think that's where the momentum shifted. A couple more post-flop hands going his way, and then Sam still fighting for pots. I think Sam won more non-shot on pots with his aggressive style, well-timed aggression, but overall both played really well. And at the end, the luck then decided who won that heads up. So it was really, really cool to see. I think from all of the 3 final tables that I was here, it's probably the best one in terms of not that many mistakes, and everyone played pretty well.
Yeah, because some interesting storylines. Warska came in, he won last week here on the very show, was a short stack, got a big flip early, doubled up, was in contention, lost a huge hand to our friend Ramiro Petrone, who you said plays an aggressive, elaborate style, sort of a little bit outside the box, made an aggressive move with Jack-7 suited, gut shot, picked up on flush draw, put it in against the trips on the 8-8 board with the ace-8. He hit the river diamond, and that was a huge hand not to enjoy long. The next hand, ace-king into aces to Samuel, which set up a 6 million chip pot, put Sam in the driver's seat, left Ramiro very short. And again, we saw the champion today get aggressive and really push up variance, sort of showing an unorthodox style with the 4-5 off, 5xing opens and making, really putting the pressure on and sort of making it difficult for Samuel to just kind of coast to a win. And he did not get his additional title. We have a new GGMillion champion on to add in. And again, Ben, thank you for the time so much. You guys can follow Ben on all the socials. Raise Your Edge, one of the best leading coaching platforms in the world, and he is the CEO founder as well as Ascend Gaming Esports. He is kind of does it all. Business Ben in Bulgaria. That's his
business Ben in Bulgaria.
Yeah, that's
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. And again, GG Millions during the World Series, I will be out in Vegas myself. Hope to see you there. Please say hello, and I can't wait to be back on, but I believe 2 weeks I'll be off while I'm playing World Series, unless I'm available and I'm out of something, and maybe I'll pop in. But either way, please tune in each week. Thank you so much for watching. Congrats to the winner, and congrats to the giveaway winners as well. Thank you so much. Cheers. See you guys very soon. Thanks, Ben.
Bye-bye. Ciao.